Well, good evening, everybody. How are ya? I thought we would try to hit 500 subs tonight. And so with that, I will kind of put us into the game. And I also want to just, hey, welcome Four. Four's with us tonight. How you doing, Four?
I'm doing real good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And so, one of the things Four and I love to do is, and certainly one of the things that we feel is that conversation is far less forced when Four is around, and he also can help answer some questions. So, with that, I think we're just going to start out the night doing a little bit of Lyria mining. So, I thought I would do a little pre-flight here, and we would take a look. So, Prospector. And tonight I am running the Atlas drive. I do have the FLTRXL, and I have a couple of brands. So that same vanilla build I typically run with, I'm going to keep that going tonight, and we'll go ahead and pull that ship, and let's get it started. All right. Pad 2. So we're going for 500 subs tonight. I never dreamed when I started this channel that I would actually even be anywhere near that. And so it's kind of interesting. I have really enjoyed, and I think I can really just say in the most honest, straightforward fashion, I've really enjoyed all the people who come to the mining stream and contribute to the mining stream. It has been lots of fun, and I've learned a tremendous amount myself.
Nothing but good fun, and so much information from everybody out there.
There has been. There's been, a lot of people have contributed to the channel. There's been a lot of theory crafting, a lot of chit-chatting about what's good, what isn't, and what people are doing and trying. And I think all that's been super healthy. It's been great. So we are really, really, really... I just couldn't be happier with the way things have been going. So, all right. So
we've answered some really good questions. We've been having a lot of fun with these guys. I can't wait to go and find some more Quantanium.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So, in we go. I will go ahead and might as well just go ahead and grab myself a plot to Lyria. Pop that gear up, and off we go. So I don't know if, like, any kind of jump town or if any of the Nine Tails or any of that's going on right now. Hey, Chris Bates. He says, "What's up tonight, fellas?" As if I didn't know. That's true. Yeah, we don't break the meta a whole lot, do we, Chris? I mean, it's so funny. We go mining. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we kind of like to do. And you know what? We're gonna start expanding a little bit from here too. You know what? I think that merit mining might be a good episode. There could be some other things we're gonna do. For right now, we're getting this fan base going here, and everybody, we seem to be building a good community. So
yeah, I think that's the most important thing is that we. People can come. I think prospector mining is kind of the most lucrative with the Quantanium mining. So that, and it's a good instructional thing, but it's a very fair statement. If you come to our stream, you kind of know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be sipping a bit of coffee. At least I am. Maybe a wobbly pop here and there.
Right? On my end, there'll definitely be a wobbly pop here and there.
And then tipping a little,
lettuce.
Yep, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, having some fun, but most importantly, doing some mining and having some fun with it. That is for sure. So, I thought we would do something a touch different today. Oh, hey, Sandy Claus, how you doing? Sandy, I thought I was thinking of you tonight when I was doing this. I know that you had mentioned that you were. It's been a touch slow for you on Lyria, so we'll see how it goes for us tonight. So, welcome aboard the stream tonight for sure. Off we go. Oh, it might help if I spool a quantum drive though.
Yep, that'll work better.
Yeah. So I could put some, put some paddles out in space and try and oar my way over.
We could slow boat it there. It's gonna be a really, really long stream though.
Sandy said he poured himself a scotch for the night, so that's getting her started. That's exactly what we're talking about. So
Perfect.
well, I'm gonna teach you guys a little something, and who knows if this is gonna work or not. So if you happen to tune in tonight, you might have got a little lucky. We'll figure it out if we'll see if you're going to be lucky or not though. So I am looking for OM2 here, and I'm going to go to OM2 specifically. And this isn't going to take a whole long extra time from what we normally do, but I am going to now pivot down and take a look right there in the center and head towards OM1, which is really right in that red. I'm going to hit max speed, and I'm just going to gun it. And we're actually going to head in right on that point. That is the south pole of this, of Lyria.
Down to the surface. Okay.
And I have had a couple of very good runs lately on this south pole. I will pivot towards the sun once we get down there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now, a little bit of fancy footwork. You do have to kind of, I'm going to come in hot. As soon as I hit the atmosphere, I'm going to turn it around, and then gun it up in the air a little bit and slow it down real quick. But we're going to go ahead and do it this way tonight. A little different than we normally do, but you know what? That's how we're going to do it. So Sandy says, I had luck only around mining facilities. Oh, interesting. Sandy, do you know what mining facility you were around? I know I do get luck sometimes around HURL3. I've definitely been lucky there. So,
I wonder if he's talking more of the mining facilities on planet side.
Oh, that very well could. Oh, I see. Yeah, like SAL9 and that type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, he very well could be. That's a very good point.
The trade-off that you take there is that you're close to those mining facilities, and you're a lot more susceptible to somebody intercepting you.
So you can see I'm still kind of pointed right at the spot. I did just lay off the gas just a touch. You'll see me hit atmosphere here pretty quickly. There I go. Now I'm rolling her back over, and I am going to just gun it right back at, I'm using my boost. I'm doing everything I can to slow down. You can see that I'm still kind of falling, but you know what? We'll turn it around. I've done this a few times, and I kind of know the meta. So we leveled off at about 13,000, and now we're just going to start kind of
slow boat it in there now.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to slow boat her into our normal height, which is a little off the deck. I
can see where if you were sleeping on that, you'd be into the surface in a big hurry.
You're coming in hot, so you do want to kind of pay attention to that. Now, that being said, there is plenty of time as long as you got your head on a swivel a little bit, and that's not a bad gig. So there's our first single. There's another single, and so in we come. So, Sandy, I'd like to cruise around 300 or so. You can see one of the nice things about this is you always get a beautiful little sunset. And the other thing is you're not around any other facilities for this guy. Sunrise, I should say, anyways.
No, and as far as high as he goes, I mean, basically, you're between 1,200 and 1,800 depending on your mountains around you.
That's right.
Just typical. There is highs and lows. Now, that's not the rule. That's the guideline, right?
Right. That's exactly right. And so, I feel pretty comfortable doing some active pinging down this way because there's nothing around me. When you come down on the South Pole, there's not a whole lot around. So you're not, I feel a little more comfortable active pinging. Of course, we always active ping anyways, a lot anyways. There's a single. We'll just keep on rolling. And I just will keep, cruising along here, popping a scan, and then just keep moving towards the scans. And using the sun is kind of my 12 o'clock, so I don't happen to pivot back on things. And, you know, I've had pretty good luck doing this lately. We'll see how it goes today. But I found a really nice cluster the other day here. 160 some SEU in it. So it is really pretty, too. You know, you can see right over the horizon there. I'll put my cursor right on it. That's ArcCorp right there. So she's hanging just over the edge of the horizon.
That's nice.
Beautiful morning type of thing, and we'll just keep on.
I like that you can see that. Wouldn't that be something to see you coming over the horizon, and you got, you know, 6 planets and everything else to look at?
Absolutely. Zeller Brack says, "Evening, brothers." Hey, Zeller, how are you tonight? Thanks for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. So, and Squirrel Lord, how you doing, Squirrel? How you been, sir? That's awesome. So, you been doing any streaming, Squirrel? You know, yeah. So here we are. Seeing if we can find something over here. You know, we're on the south pole of Lyria. And every single time you come to this spot, it's always this. That's the thing about the poles. They're very, very static as far as there's always going to be light. You always can fly into the light a little bit. And then I always kind of just try and keep it on as honest as I can. Right between Stanton Sun and, like I said, right over there you can see ArcCorp. It'll constantly keep getting a little higher, but real pretty. You know, a real pretty, you know, morning, you know, sunrise type of thing here. Sandy says, I've been about 200-ish, right into the red line throttle at about 1,500 meters. I'm always active pinging. And do you only go for clusters or also singles? Doublers, we go for anything that's more than one rock. I will stop and look at. It's the one time in surface mining that I do not look for I don't stop and scan singles. I think we tend to find that they slow you down a little bit, and that because you know, you don't even have to scan anything. You know, if it's a doubler or it's anything more than 2, it's Quantanium.
And from my experience, it's few and far between that any singles are going to have that uni in them. Pretty few and far between. You might find that magic rock that has 8,600 and 48%, and then you need surges with your prospector anyway.
Right.
So if you find that signal, well, good for you. But the doubles and the clusters are the way to go, just because they're guaranteed that it has to have Quantanium, at least in some part, in that rock.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
And as far as only in mountains, I disagree with only in mountains. I think that you can find them on the plains. I find in higher concentrations in the foothills, not necessarily in the middle of the deep mountains. In the foothills, I find way more mineralization.
I agree with that. So one of the things that I do like about this South Pole run is once you kind of have a couple of minutes behind you, as you can see, you start getting some hills here. So this is kind of nice. So, you know, I've kind of flown into this a few times, and you start getting a little bit of that, what you like to see, a little more hills and that type of thing. So Squirrel Lord said he's planning on streaming tonight. He's going to do some ROC mining. Oh man, do I love ROC mining. There's our first doublers of the night.
There's a double.
Mm-hmm. And then Sandy says he agrees that a single seem rare. He's got the Lancet 2 VAUX C3s. No clue what the third module should be. You know, if you know, I certainly think that a third module in that situation, the FLTRXL, is never a bad choice. You know, that's
you're
one
looking
for sure.
at $60,000 for an investment, but
Yep.
as long as you're not crashing your ships, it pays itself off.
It does. And there are times when they break funny, and a lot of it's inert, and that filter makes a big difference. It really does. So this is a 5333 mass and a 2%er. So first haul of the night here. And this is not going to be too much better. It's going to be probably, nope, this is a 2.2% at 4,500. So
Okay, I won't even go on the QuantCalc.
We won't need QuantCalc for that one, that's for sure. So speaking of QuantCalc, I was talking to Tu tonight, and he is going to be making some adjustments to QuantCalc, which I'm excited about. A few little things. When you select that first when you select the box, it's going to have an orange outline around it. So if you go
rock mass,
yep,
yes,
exactly. So sometimes you click into that mass, and it's, it pops right up and does what it's supposed to, but you can
it's hard to tell if you're sitting on it or not.
That's right. You lose focus on it a little bit. So he's going to do that and a couple of other cool little extras that are.
Nice. Oh yeah, we'll just perfect it now a little bit, and like we say, for $1, it's a pretty easy way to focus on how much quant you've got total, and real quick.
Hey, Mr. Azai, thank you, sir. Mr. Azai says, howdy, guys. Good luck on the mining tonight. So.
Oh, I think we know that guy.
Yeah, we do. He's a class act, that Mr. Azai. Thank you, sir. It's good seeing you. Squirrel says, I normally go on a killing spree during my streams. So Squirrel's going to do rock mining, but he normally does combat stuff. He's saying he normally kind of.
Oh, okay. He's gonna switch it up. See, maybe we'll have to trade tradesies with him. We'll go on a killing spree one night, and he can come on a mining mission one night, and we'll give everybody a surprise.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, Zeron, how are you tonight? How's it going? So that is awesome. So here we are. We hit the south pole of Lyria, and we are cruising along, looking for something to put the lasers on, and we're starting to finally get into some of that more hillish land that sometimes can be good about producing here. Zeller Brax, howdy. How you doing? I was excited, I will tell you, I was excited to stream tonight. I definitely have decided I enjoy it. I really enjoy the chit chat, the theory crafting, and I learn so much from people. When they jump on and you guys share what's going on with your mining and that type of thing. It is a nice thing to build a little bit of a mining community, and people who kind of share stories, and it's a little like going out and where guys are talking about their fishing trips or whatever. It's nice. So Zeller is saying an interesting thing. He's saying, what do you think is a jack of all trades loadout for your so I would say, first of all, the Atlas would be the jack of all trades drive that I would pick. There's a doubler. And I would probably have to almost maybe lean towards the Surge, don't you think?
So a Surge, a Stampede, and a Brant, I think, would probably be your jack of all trades loadout.
I agree with that. I think a Surge, a Stampede, and a Brant. So if you happen to run across that 6,000 mass rock, that is, or 6,100 mass, that's that 40%er. You have the option to break him. You still have a Brant on board in order to do the, in order to flatten out the Quantanium load. And obviously the Stampede can really help you get through the optimal when you're trying to hang on if you happen to find an even bigger rock. So that's nice.
Because you can always use a second Surge from that same load, because you get 5 of those. You get five charges in one load. So you can. That's what I tend to do. I'll get that Surge right up to, right up to red, and then it's gonna come down on you. If it comes down on you past 75%, you can always load that second Surge in there and then follow it up with a Stampede and get through that green zone as fast as possible. And then once you get the big one drop down, you can take care of any smaller ones with your prospector, no problem.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Squirrel is saying that he has a Hurricane, so and he also has a Cutlass. So maybe we can maybe we can maybe go with Squirrel one night and we can do some bunker missions or something, and
That sounds great.
you know, and see if we can't you know, keep ourselves from getting the crime stat.
Why not? Zeller was saying as well, keep from blowing myself up with a surge. Now, you want to stop yourself from blowing up with a surge, you need to use the lifeline. So I would go surge, stampede, lifeline, and then that way, if you look like you're coming over power with your surge, you hit that lifeline immediately and back out as quickly as you can.
I don't disagree with that. So we got a good rock here. If you have QuantCalc fired up, sir.
Yeah, it's right on my phone.
So it's a 3225 mass, and it's at 45%. It's probably around 28 or so.
That's 29.025.
Yeah, 29. It's hard to turn 29 down, so you know it may not necessarily break the cleanest, but we're going to position ourselves and we'll do this rock for sure.
Especially on a 3300, yeah, that's an easy rock to break.
It is an easy break. Yep, and so notice,
and it's half Quantanium,
yeah.
So it's gonna break okay.
Yep, it's good.
Well,
Yes,
hopefully it
yep.
breaks very well.
And so if you notice here, a little tip or a trick is I have positioned myself, look where the way the sun's hitting the rock, and I've put the charge level, that part of the UI in the shade to give myself, it would be really washed. Over here it's much more washed out. You know, but in here, it's, as you can imagine, there's a little more contrast in that shade, so I'll go ahead and start getting her broke up here. Squirrel saying, feel free to friend you. Squirrel, I will do that, for sure. He's Squirrel Lord 161 is his in-game name as well. Yeah, I'll send you a friend invite, Squirrel, for sure. We'll have to catch up with you soon. I appreciate that you come and contribute to the stream, and I definitely will come hang out on your stream and see if we can't, you know, see, like I said, see if I can not end up with the crime stat at the end of the night. Love the idea. Sandy is saying profit versus time ratio of mining QT. Or doing medical supply run in the Cuddy or rented Andromeda. Ooh, hang on. Better pay attention to the window here.
Yeah, you should probably watch your window.
Yeah, give me a sec there. I'll get refocused on the chat in just a second.
The only thing I was gonna say, so if you notice, like the very top of his red line, it's very washed out because it's not in that shadow. Now, I was gonna have you move around just to show, but at the same time you can see how washed out it is. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something that I'm doing wrong, or maybe there's an option to help that, but as of so far, I haven't found anything like that. You kind of got to mechanically do it yourself.
You do. Yeah, I haven't seen anything that you can adjust in the UI at all. So there's a 71%er. That's a hundo right there. A couple of these are going to be hundos. The way this is broke, it looks pretty good. This is going to be just a 6%er in there. That's probably kind of the tailings of it, right? And so, a couple of things just catching up here. Sandy, profit versus time ratio of just mining QT or doing medical supply run in a Cuddy or rented Andromeda. I think you probably make a little more money just doing Quantanium. That's me just being as honest as I can about that, Sandy. Squirrel, I'll be getting into the game around 5 hours, so cool. I don't know if I'll be on then, Squirrel, but if I am, I'm going to look you up for sure. Aetheric Bard, welcome to the stream. I really appreciate you stopping by. What's up with the different board choices at the refinery? Oh, we can speak to that in just a second.
Absolutely.
I'm saving to buy a pirate caterpillar for those medical deliverables, Squirrel. That's awesome. I like all the pirate skins for those ships. Aetheric Bard just jumping into the verse, former commander. Salute. Waiting on the download. Welcome aboard. Yes. And we'll speak to your refining thing in just a second. Sandy Claus, so basically do NTL event or mine. I want to make UEC. I would say mining is going to be faster. Murlork, nice to see you. How you been? Zeller, they really need to change the UI, need more contrast. Yeah, they do need to, it would be nice to have some additional options. So the thing I want to make sure we pivot back to, and I think one of the more important questions is the refining jobs. And, if you want to handle that while I knock this out, that would be great.
Yeah, that's no problem. So like, so when you get to the refinery, now you have probably about 8 or 9 different options for your mining jobs. Now we're looking at like Quantanium specifically. You've got basically 2. You've got the Ferron method, and you use the Dinix method. You do the Ferron if you want to pay a little more taxes, but you still get a really good yield from it. But it goes quicker. But at the same time, like I say, you do pay more taxes on it. The Dinix method takes a full Quantanium load in a prospect. You're looking at a day and 3/4, almost 2 days. You know what I mean? A day and 18 hours for a full prospector. But you only spend $5,000 or $6,000 on these taxes for the refining fees. Now, if you can afford to hoard up your cargoes, 5 or 6 of them, and then move in with a freelancer, that Dinix is probably better. If you're looking at, say, a mole where you've got 96 SCU, now the Ferron might be a little better method for you, because then that only takes a day and 3/4 instead of 4 days with the Dinix method. So you pay a little extra, but you do have 96 SCU to move at one time. Other than that, if you like the other, I don't know, 7 options that are there, they probably work better for specific different kinds of minerals. Now I don't know those exact numbers. A guy would have to go in and do that math, but for our immediate intents and purposes, for the Quantanium, the Ferron, and the Dinix, that's where we're at.
I agree with that 100%. The Ferron, is just a faster method. It costs a lot more. And then the Dinix is you're going to get the most money bang for your buck with the Dinix, but it's going to be slow. It's a 1 day, 18-hour processing time, where the Ferron's much faster than that.
Keep in mind though, Ferron does keep most of your like the majority of your yield.
It does. I think it has the same yield as the Dinix.
There are other methods that cost more, but they also take more of your yield, but they're really quick.
Right. Yeah, you pay a little more, but you keep your yield. That's for sure. Hey, Ryan Rulander says, great stream so far. Hey, appreciate that, Ryan. Welcome aboard the stream. And I'll try not to. I'll try and keep it a good stream and not necessarily blow myself up here with the 6%er.
Dinix is nice due to the start of the week if you plan on selling it during the weekend. That's Murloc. That's exactly right. However, we really got to watch when new updates are supposedly coming out. You got to really watch that, because if you get 6 jobs on the Dinix method and they're not ready for 2 days, and this patch might come out, you might be more inclined to do the Ferron, get it out of there in 8 or 9 or 10 hours, and make off with a little more money in a shorter time, right?
Yep. If you have the time, the Dinix is the best. You're going to make the most amount, purely the most amount of money with the Dinix for sure. But if you've done some mining with a friend, or you don't want to wait all that time, you can pay a little extra and have it done a little faster. Squirrel said, I felt like skipping Jump Town for a while. That's what I've been doing, a lot of missions and ROC mining lately. So yeah, I think you're going to enjoy ROC mining, Squirrel. It's fun. It's a game. It's not. The extraction bug is a little tedious with it. But I will say, I love that game. I love that mining loop. I love rock mining, and I know the Ford.
I cut my teeth. I love rock mining. That was the first thing we did. That was the first thing I did for the first 8 months playing the game. I loved rock mining. That was my thing.
Yep. Could not. It's a fun. Even if I made $2, I'd still rock mine from time to time. I just enjoy the gameplay loop. It's fun. Murloc saying.
Murloc said, yeah, you know what? He lost 600K. You know what, Murloc? On that same hit, I lost over 800K.
Yep.
I know exactly what you mean. I did the same thing, and now I'm a little more smarter and a little more mature. Yep.
Yeah, as you know, an important warning to you miners: if you know a patch is coming out, you need to clear your refining jobs. You need to get them out of the refiner, or and then get them over and get them sold. The refining jobs wipe when a new patch comes out. So you're playing with fire if you know that they're probably going to drop a new patch that week. It's already been a PTU, and it's already been tested pretty good. And so, you're gambling. And I think, I've lost that gamble. Forrest lost that gamble. It sounds like Murlork has lost that gamble. So, yeah, I mean, if one of the reasons we do the stream is so people can learn, so they don't have to make the same mistakes we did, or learn the hard way. So,
yep, exactly. How are you making out on these rocks, my friend? I've been keeping my eye on the chat.
I am not doing too bad. I have 18 on board. And I am now just trying to get some scans going here.
Okay, sweet. You got the easy ones out of the way, obviously.
I did, and now I'm just kind of being discerning with the laser.
It didn't break so great, did it?
It's interesting. I thought it did a little better than how it's playing out right now. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. With a 46 or whatever it was percent, I would have thought we would have seen a little more quantity.
Yeah, I may have to work the edges here a little bit, so there might be some stuff that's a little buried here, maybe. This guy had nothing.
New guy Ultra, welcome Ultra. Can't see what modules he's using right now. He's using Brant's and FTLR.
Yep, an FLTRXL, and I have 2 Brants on board. Very vanilla loadout. That's the one I like. It's the easiest way to handle the Quantanium.
And then the rock sizes we try.
Yeah.
5,800 or less.
Yep.
Like around there, right around there with the Brants and the FTLR, 5,800 or less. I run a surge and I look for those 6,000s. But it's a little more dangerous. And then that's why I run a Brant, or not a Brant, excuse me. I run a Surge and a Stampede, and I mean, possibly a Lifeline, just in case.
Just trying to see if I can get another couple. See if there's a couple more in there on the edges, maybe.
The tractor beam will be an amazing addition to team mining. Groups of people mining, the tractor beam is just going to be absolutely amazing because we can break it, we can stack hundos, and then we can move on from there. And it'll be so quick and so, oh yeah, tractor beams is going to be a big addition. Minimum quant percents. I mean, you have to watch. Like, it depends on your mass. Your minimum quant percent on a mass of 4,000 or something like that. You're looking at 25%, 30%. But how do you turn away? 15 SCU? Ultra, if you want to know your quant percentages per rock, download QuantCalc. It's on the Play Store.
Yeah, we have a link to it right in the description, and it will tell you like how much quant is in every rock. There's a hundo kind of hiding down there in the edges. Yeah, cool. And and just so, hey, Ultra, like a 4,000 mass at 40%, that's 32 SCU. That's a full prospector load. Yep. So that's a 40-40 that's probably a good way to think about it. So if you see like a 35 and it's like this one here that we had was a 3,200 and I'm up at around 27 SCU right here. I'm just trying to clip the edge here and see if I can get a little more.
Just catch that little extra.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch a little more here. I don't know that I'm going to see it, though. What about this guy? Nope. Not finding any more in there. I was wondering if there might be one more little piece hiding.
I think they're working on iPhone, iPad for the QuantCalc?
We are. Yep. We don't have it for iOS yet, but it will be out for iOS at some point in the near future. Right now, it's just on the Google Play Store, but it is definitely going to be something that we move over that way. I think it's kind of an early release. It's very handy. Especially you can get the Quantanium amounts very quickly. You can also do a cluster size and all that type of thing. But it's still kind of an early, like I would almost call it like a beta maybe. And we're always looking for people to pick it up, give it some feedback, and let us know how we can improve it, because it's only $1. I mean, we're not out to make $1 million. It's just a tool that we had that we thought everybody else could use, and so we were blessed to have a real sharp guy in our industry who decided to knock it together, and it's been a blessing. I mean, we've had a lot of people have picked it up and say good things about it. So off to Arkel 1 we go. I think we ended up with a little over 27 SCU on this run, and you want to know something? That is nothing to sneeze at. That's a good run.
Third Bard's asking if it could be used for other minerals as well.
Not yet, but that is absolutely on the path. We have talked about other minerals, of course. Right now, for the most part, people just mine Quantanium, but there will come a time when Bexolite, Laranite, Terranite, Agricium, aluminum, corundum, all of those things are going to become important. Diamond, all those things are going to become important. We hope that time comes sooner than later for like a base building with the Pioneer and that type of thing. But for now, it just does the Quantanium stuff. But there's, that's the cool thing. I mean, we're going to continue to add features to it. It's going to continue to get better and better and better. And you're just, like I said, it's just $1, so you're not out that much. It's going to continually be updated. And I think the game is going to kind of lead the way on some of that stuff. Like if you need it, then we definitely, then it will definitely get in there. Right now, for the most part, people just kind of mine Quantanium. So one thing I will mention to all of you, and if you haven't already, as trying to use this time here, we haven't hit first alarm yet. We started the channel not terribly long ago, and we have gotten up to 490 subs. So if you are enjoying the content tonight, please do so. And I don't even ask. You can go back and check all the streams. I don't ask very much, but I thought it would be fun for us to try and see if we could get to 500 subs tonight. So if you like what you're seeing, like and sub. I would appreciate it. I know 4 would. And that, it will let you know when we go live. Of course, that's great. And then, we all can get together again and do some of this fun stuff. At some point, I got to get on a regular schedule here.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
All right.
Like and sub. All right.
All right, so we just got first alarm. We got plenty of time. I was trying to be a touch more discerning with the laser. I was hoping to squeeze a little more out of what was there, but it just wasn't there, and that is no problem. There was a 6%er there, and I think, some of that might have got lost in the shuffle. But, we got a 27 SCU run. We're not unhappy with that. That is an excellent run with the Prospector.
So Sandy Claus says drawbacks to using a same refinery every time. Like, I imagine at some point there may be, and I mean, refineries can get oversaturated with minerals, right? So I don't know that it's a big issue at the moment. I haven't had any problems with getting less money from the same refinery ever.
Right.
Like, they're kind of a set price at the moment. Eventually, when it's dynamic, I imagine it will be. But for the moment, not so much.
Yep. Now, one thing I will say, CRUL1 has a bonus during the refining process of 3% Quantanium, and that tends to offset a lot of your losses. So CRUL1 does have that bonus for, and all of the stations have these pluses and minuses of, they're just better at refining certain materials. And then there is a metric on the refiner that I don't think is actually in play right now, where it talks about capacity, which I think at some point will mean if everybody's just using that one refiner and its capacity is really high, that maybe it's going to be a little slower. But I don't think that's in effect right now.
See, that's what I'm thinking too. Like when they were putting in all these, all these drugs from Jumptown into one spot, you know what I mean?
Right.
It would get oversaturated. You could only unload so much at a time. Just like back in the day when we were offloading Quantanium at, say, Lorville, and they were full. You couldn't unload any more Quantanium. You had to wait
For a server tick.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that is a real possibility. Now, lately, I haven't seen it, but there will be a real possibility of that in the future, definitely.
I agree with that. I think that we have seen in the past where, you bring, you take the time to mine it, refine it. Maybe you're hauling a full Taurus load of Quantanium into Lorville, and you go to sell it, and you got to sit there and wait and maybe log out for a while and come back and keep trying to sell it. And they did lift that kind of sanction or time gate or whatever the heck it is. But I know when Quanta, like in Etheric Bard is kind of is mentioned in that. I know when Quanta comes into play, some of those dynamics are going to change significantly. So, I think there's always the game we have now and the game that will be. And so, a lot of times we spend time chatting about our, or sharing our hopes or dreams about what will be. But it will be interesting to see how those things do change. And so, the game that we have now, though, I think it's some of these things are, even though they seem to have these metrics, they seem pretty static.
Hey, back again.
All right, so we're bringing this into the refinery, and so here's this capacity that I was talking about. Like, I don't know that this plays a role in this at all, and here's you can see the yields. A CRUL1 will have a plus 3% yield to Quantanium, so that makes it over a period of time can be fairly significant. So I'm just going to choose the Dynic solvenation. I'll get a quote here, and I will. And you can see I've got a couple complete here, but I also have, I had a couple of unis right there. There's a uni, there was a uni, a 27, and now I got this 26 guy cooking. So we've had a pretty good week. We're not doing too bad right now, for sure.
Doing all right.
Doing all right.
Once I get that new computer going, we're going to be doing real well.
Yes, and the one thing I'm very much looking forward to is we're absolutely going to do some mole streams where we're doing some mole mining, and we have a couple of other guys who we could ask along who are really competent miners as well, and it's going to be a great time. I mean, mole mining's coming for sure, and then hand mining is something that Four and I like to do from time to time. It's not the most lucrative thing in the world, but
just for fun.
Yeah, a little cave spelunking, nothing wrong with it. And then ROC mining as well. And then I will mention, just because, one of these times when we do the ROC mining, I want to bring the prospector to do the rock popping. You can actually use the prospector to pop the hadnite nodes. 0%.
And then scoop them with the rock.
And just scoop them with the rock, exactly. So you can, if you find a cluster of, say, 8 or 9 hadnite rocks, a prospector will break those in 2-3 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
So Mach 1 Griebel, welcome to the stream. What's happening with you, sir? We're just doing a little mining tonight, enjoying some Star Citizen theory crafting, all things. Please feel free to ask any questions or contribute. Let us know what's going on with you in the game. Cool. So Squirrel Lord says, I think I'll start my stream inside the refinery to show off what the different rocks look like and show the rentals and try to give the best info I can for new players to get started with. Squirrel, that is a very cool thing to do. And I think that that's the right move. I think anytime you take an educated, you take and you want to help new players, and that's one of the reasons we have our stream here. We
that's
like
admirable. Absolutely.
just for that reason, just to kind of demonstrate how this stuff works. So I do, obviously a pre-flight before I take off every time. You can see I have the FLTRXL, a couple of brands. I'm going to probably leave those just how they are. And I will go, I do have the Atlas drive. I will show you, though, on my second Prospector, everybody, I do have the Rush drive on that one. This is a good drive. It's in between the VK00, which is a really good short-range drive, and the Atlas. This is kind of a mid-range drive, but I really do like the Rush. I think it's a good drive. But you can see I kind of have the same meta on this guy, too, the FLTRXL, and a couple of brands. I don't stray too far from that one. That's kind of my thing. I like it. I'm comfortable with it.
I think that's what works for you, and yeah, it doesn't seem to let you down very often, so that's all right.
It doesn't. So Sandy Claus saying I have a ROC, never made anything off it. And so he's saying it's bouncy. Yeah, it is a little bouncy, and it's a little, Sandy, it takes a little time to get used to scan. It's a different scanning meta. You got to go a little slower.
He's talking about Ardeen. Ardeen is bouncy, yeah.
Oh,
Ardeen is also like driving through pea soup.
Oh, Aberdeen. Oh yeah. This planet. He's talking about this guy over here. Yeah, Aberdeen. Yeah, I agree with that. That is pea soup for. It's crazy to fly in Aberdeen sometimes.
I mean, yeah, there's rocks there, and you can mine them, but it sucks finding it.
So Ultra's saying he's curious, what's the difference between reducing resistance and increasing the laser power? Both increase instability. I think it's kind of like, which way do you want to go? Are you just going to dump more power into it, or are you going to reduce the resistance? And that's why I use the branch a lot to kind of smooth all that stuff out, Ultra.
That's also why we use the Lancets, because the Lancets give you a bigger optimal window and reduce that resistance.
Yes.
The Lancets reduce that resistance and give you a bigger optimal window so that you can. It's a much easier, like, how the Helix was the meta. Now the Lancet is now the easier way to go.
Absolutely. But for a long time, the Helix was the meta. It was just a more powerful laser. But the Lancet has really got that. It's got a great debuff where it reduces the instability, it reduces the resistance. It's a less powerful laser, but it actually takes some of the edge off, and like the branch stacks on top of that. And even these mining gadgets that are coming are going to stack on top of that. So that's something to look forward to. So I did my pre-flight here. I guess my question is should we go back to Lyria, or should we head out and maybe hit the Halo? We could do either or.
Buddy, it's up to you. Whatever tickles your fancy.
Obviously, I have enjoyed kind of doing a little bit of both. I think it gives people, if they come back and they watch the stream, they're like, oh, he did some surface mining and he did a little bit of Halo mining. So we'll head out to Halo.
Let's see what we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
Ultra says, I asked because I seem to come across big giant 8,000 mass quant rocks and die trying to use the surge. Wonder if there's a way to crack without the surge stamp. There's a mole. There's the Ultra, and I'm sure you know the mole. The Argo mole will make short work of an 8,000 mass rock because it's got the two lasers. The other thing is obviously calling for another prospector. That's another. I know that those aren't options for a solo player, but the mining gadgets that are coming, I'm not saying they're going to crack an 8,000. I don't know. But I do know that there are mining gadgets coming, and they're not off the radar yet in 3.17, so that's not terribly long from now, within maybe the next 45 days or so. And the mining gadgets you're supposed to be able to attach to the rocks, and those are supposed to be able to give you a boost. They specifically mentioned being able to crack bigger rocks in the surface with the mining gadgets, and they also do some other things too, Ultra. So those aren't in game yet, but they're coming.
Now on the other end of that, the Surge and Stamp, he's got Surge Stamp. Now, yeah, Surge and Stampede is what we use, but if you want to stop dying, like I said, I think I said before, you take the Surge, the Stampede, and the lifeline.
Yes.
Lifeline takes 90% less damage. That takes 90% of your damage off of you. So if you're backing up, you smash your lifeline, you're backing up, and get out of there before it blows up, you should be just fine because you're taking 90% less damage as long as your lifeline is active.
Yep. That lifeline, you can fire that guy and it will absolutely save your bacon for sure.
Yeah, it over like the last consumable that you launch is the one that takes over. So if you even got a surge going and you hit lifeline, the surge will drop and the lifeline will start.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly how they work. Patrick Wojtyla, and I'm sorry, Patrick, if I'm messing up your name, but welcome to the stream. Patrick says he has a question for. Hello, I have a question. How do you earn some money for my first prospector? I have 700K. I'm doing monitor missions, but I'm sick of them already. Or maybe we can lend him a couple of mil, he says. Well, Patrick, here's the one thing. I know you're going to feel better in your heart if you earn the money for your prospector yourself. It is one of those things. You're proud when you do it.
We can teach you how to do that.
Mm-hmm. You can absolutely rent a prospector and, believe it or not, make some money just mining Bexalite or Laranite or Terranite or even these 5 or 10% Quantanium rocks. You can absolutely, that's one way. ROC mining is another way. You have, with 700,000, you absolutely have enough to purchase the ROC, and you can rent the Cuddy Black. That's another way to do it. There are some other ways there. Of course, combat missions too. Those are the ones that come to my mind right off the bat. So, excellent question though. It is that getting off the snide that first time it does take time. So I'm going to drop out of here at about 7.7, and when it says 7.8, I'm gonna. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit, right? Just because we were answering Patrick's very good question. I took off from ArcL1. I headed to HURL5. I dropped out at about 7.7. So that's where I like to drop out. And I immediately I do like to immediately just set ArcL1 back as my route. Kind of turn around. And you can see in this area here, we've got some bigger rocks, that type of thing. And I just kind of check everything, make sure everything's working good, and off we go. We'll start pinging, and you can see there's lots and lots and lots of hits here. So we're going to start working our way through the halo and looking for something to mine.
Okay, so Patrick was asking where to mine with a rented prospector. I told him Lyria, but now I'm about to say, but if you don't want to mess with Quantanium, something like Daymar would probably be where you might find your Bexalum, your Laranite. You know what I mean?
I agree with that 100%. Four is leading you in the right direction. Daymar is an excellent place to take the rented prospector. You're going to find Bexalite, and Bexalite, believe it or not, adds up. It's half. It's half. But hey, if I made 4 million this week Quantanium mining, you'll only make a couple million doing Bexalite. But guess what? That's enough.
You might only make $1 million doing Bexalite or 800,000, but you know what? You do that 2-3 times, and you got your own prospect.
I agree with that 100%. And Mr. Azai has joined us and very, very graciously offered security missions. FPS can go up to like 80K rewards. I had no idea. I don't do as much of the combat stuff, so I didn't feel comfortable mentioning it. But we know Mr. Azai does a lot of that stuff and is very familiar with those things. So there you go. I mean, you also could do FPS missions, and shoot, PvE missions and go ahead and shoot. You got to be real careful with those that you shoot the right folks. You don't want to shoot the security forces. But that's 80K is nothing to sneeze at when it comes to those kind of missions. So I am scanning this set of twins here. I just got a signature scan, so let me kind of get the slow scan going here. That is aluminum, titanium, and Bexolite. There we go. We'll keep on keeping on here. Now, one of the things I like to see, when we come to the Iron Halo, you never know. We could be out here for 10 minutes. We could be out here for a half hour looking for something to mine, and hopefully it's not any longer than that. You never do know.
Yeah, well, that's the way that it goes in the Halo.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And I will scan singles out here. A little different meta, it's not every time you see a cluster is it going to be Quantanium. As a matter of fact, most of the time it won't be. So you do want to, you might find that 5122 at 40%. You do want to, don't be shy when you go to the Halo to scan singles.
See, that's the thing though. Now that's something that we should know too, that in the Halo, you're not going to find anything more than 5122 that's mineable, that's scannable. You can't find nothing more than 5122. That's your max. So
Yep.
any prospect can, reasonably hit a 5122.
Absolutely. There's nothing you're not going to be able, there's no rock, for whatever reason right now, there's nothing above 5122 mass, so you're never going to run into the mass of a rock that you can't break with the Lancet. And you're also never going to have impacted. It's never going to be impacted. It's never going to be like in the ground where you can't get to it.
That's right.
Yeah, Mr. Azaya's got some more good information here. This is a Bexolite rock. He's saying third rank missions are 3 waves of 6 hostiles, and the security helping you kill them all. So you can literally enter the bunker, sit back, and let them take care of it for a 60K payout. Hey man, that sounds like a pretty decent way to make money. I mean, you got FPS guys on your side. That doesn't sound like a bad gig at all. Jazz Ty, hey, good, nice to see you, Jazz. How you been? I went to a mission on a cave in Aberdeen. I saw a lot of minerals in there. There is a cave on Aberdeen, and I forget its name. It's not a long name, but it is a lot like Kudra Mine from Daymar, where it is loaded with hand minables in there. And you're looking for hadanite if you go in there and to hand mine. You got to bring your multi-tool that has the cutting or that has the mining attachment.
Yeah, and you want the pink rocks. The pink rocks is your hadanite.
They look pink, right? There's a purple one that's aphorite, and there's a green one that's dolomite. But you want hadanite in there. That's the one that will make you a few bucks. Even a nice big backpack load of it will net you 20K or.
Yeah,
better than that.
You know what? You do a few of those, and you got yourself a rock. You do a few hadanites with the rock, and you got yourself a prospect.
I agree with that 100%. That's the exact path I cut my teeth on. 5122 mass, aluminum, corundum, and Bexolite. We'll keep looking. So I'm cruising around 300 here. If you notice, I kind of keep Arc L1 at my 12 o'clock position. And I just kind of active ping every so often, and if I don't have to stray too far off the path, I will just kind of head towards the whatever we do active ping, and it's an easy way to kind of not accidentally circle back. Now here's a little cluster, so this is the first cluster that we found. Mock Rebel saying, I am teaching my brother in the Halo who's flying a rented prospector. We team up, I let him take full loads, and I sweep up and wait for him to come back. After he's done 3 runs, we switch. Like it. You know what? 2 rented prospectors can really work together. That's absolutely for sure. So I'm going to see if we can get this is probably, we are getting a slow scan here. 4631. This is going to be a tungsten and laranite. So this is not a Quantanium cluster. We'll keep heading there. Okay. Yep. So, good instructional is whenever you're on Lyria, like we started out on Lyria, we pulled those 27 SCU there. Whenever you're on Lyria, 2 or more rocks is always Quantanium. That's the only place in Stanton's system that meta exists. When you're in the Iron Halo, you need to kind of scan most of what you're coming across, and then if you're not guaranteed, Here's the one thing's for sure, though. If you scan one rock in a cluster and it's not Quantanium, none of them are. So if the first rock you scan is Quantanium, it's always going to be Quantanium. Every rock in that cluster will be Quantanium. So, Andre is the name. He says, "Oh yeah, you're in the Halo." We have had a couple requests for us to go to the Halo, and people have wanted us to kind of, and I've had a couple of streams lately in the Halo, a little bit too. So here we are. We're gonna give it a try.
Well, we'll give it a hell of a shot anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'll keep my foot on the gas in it. We'll find something. Famous last words, right? But no, we'll find something. All right, this is Diamond, Corundum, and Bexelite. We will just kind of move down towards this one. This looks like a doubler. The second one hasn't come into view there. Alright, and I'm kind of trying to get my scan going on these guys, and I'm not getting a whole lot. So these could be the first kind of what we like to call dead rocks of the night. And this is a good education. This is a good thing for us to just show you. We're not going to spend a lot of time here, but I do think this is the case. You do run across these that are called dead rocks, right? That's for lack of a better term. If you look here, I'll pull out my mining laser. We'll come in and we'll move in real close on these guys. They weren't scanning, so I know that they're that way. So if I come in here with my mining laser, you can see there's nothing. There's
nothing there.
Yep.
They're not even rocks. They're just empty tokens.
Yep, exactly. And that happens sometimes. And when you find those, you just got to deal. That's the way it goes. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time too much. Worrying about those. Just move on to the next guys. So just like that, here's another instructional opportunity, right? One of our org mates told me over here in this part of the Halo, he's never seen a cluster of 3 ever be Quantanium. And I haven't either. So your clusters of 3 in this part of the Halo are just, I hope it proves me wrong someday, but you can see this cluster of 3 is also not Quantanium. So, I scan them all the time because I'm just kind of curious. But I suppose if I get to 50 or 100 times I've scanned them and they're not, I'll know just to pass by.
I suppose a thrice, yeah, never mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Drewster was asking about, he's just about to download the game. He just wanted to come and see a stream and how it's played. So, welcome, Drewster. Just before this, we got 27 SCU of Quantanium and made, I don't know, probably $240,000 on the last, 40 minutes of playing, which isn't terrible bad. So justify buying the game. I mean, a starter pack would cost you a sweet FA, like $40 gets you an Aurora, and you can work your way into any piece of equipment after that.
I agree with that. You do not have to, if you have the pockets to get the Avenger Titan, it's probably a little better starter, but you don't have to. $45 is a fine investment. You can get the Aurora and you can do the entry-level bounty hunting missions and grind it out till you get the next ship up. You know what I mean? You absolutely, or you just do box missions. Use the internal space of the Aurora. That's one of the reasons why we're suggesting it, is because it has some internal space, so you can do box missions and stuff in it too. You don't have to spend $1 million to play this game. Now, some people enjoy doing that, and I would not no knock against them. And I myself have spent a little, probably more than I'd be comfortable to admit in close company, So, but that being said, it is one of those things. You don't have to, and we kind of recommend that you actually just get that. The nice thing is you can always melt a starter. You know, you can always go up to the next ship. You could put in the $45 now and go get the Aurora, and then decide later, you know, I'm going to upgrade to the Avenger Titan, and just put in the $20 more or whatever it is then, or the $30 more.
Exactly.
You know, so don't feel obligated. Oh, Squirrel taking off. Oh, have a great night, Squirrel. Thank you so much for joining. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. You know, I know that you're going to be streaming tonight. If I'm on, then I'll come look for you. Yeah, Mr. Zai says, haha, us whales.
Us whales. Yeah,
that's
we need to know, Zai.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, says, how come your scans show up yellow and not blue?
Great question. I have the Aerial Hazard armor. That's a Gray Cat armor. It's the Hazard Yellow, and it is you just need the helmet. You don't need the whole set, but that's why I get the yellow. That's why I get the yellow icons. It's because I'm wearing the Hazard set. Oh,
Aerial Hazard, and you can buy that in Tressler.
Yep. Etheric, great question. How about the 100i? Here's the thing about the 100i that I'm going to tell you right now, that I love the 100 series. And I love the 100 series because they have the air system, the AIR system. And that system will mean that you'll never run out of hydrogen. I have the 135C in that series. In my opinion, that's the best scout ship in the game for surface mining scouting. You could fly for hours and hours and hours on the planet surface, never run out of hydrogen fuel with that 100i, and scan to your heart's content. And then if you're running out of hydrogen somehow, like it happened, just land. It will actually fill it up. But I like the 135C in that particular series. That's the one that I like. I always go for those variants, though. Like in the 300 series Origins, I like the 315P. You know, those are the ones that I always go with. But I like the 135C. I think the 100 series is fantastic. Limeade, hello, I just discovered this game. It looks sick. Limeade, welcome aboard. Yes. Be careful, you know, if you fall down the rabbit hole of Star Citizen, you might find yourself in it in a while. So this is a 9.24% Quantanium. Not quite enough in here. We're going to keep moving.
When Andre says we're going to ignore triplets in the Halo. Do we know they're in Lyria? No, we do not ignore them in Lyria, because anything 2 and over, from a doubler up to a 13 rock cluster, has Quantanium on Lyria.
Absolutely. Lyria, anything 2 and above is always Quantanium. That's why we always go to Lyria. I mean, it's the most consistent place to find the stuff. But you know what? We thought we'd mix it up tonight and bring her out to the Halo a bit. That was a 10%er back there. A 10%er is the perfect wheelhouse for the rented prospector. You're still gonna make. It's gonna sneak an extra 10 to 15,000 on board. Like you know, a 10% Quantanium, even though it's not, you know, when you have that rented prospector, you can deal with that one. You can actually break that one. That's one that you can break, and instead of just getting the, you know, the 20 or 30,000 backslide, that might be a 35,000 you know, run or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and scan this guy here. So Sandy's saying, say that thing again about Lyria.
So on Lyria, so we do not disregard triples on Lyria, because anything doubles and above, anything that's got more than one rock, is some kind of Quantanium. So, like, you know what I'm saying? From anything from 2 to 15 rocks, all has Quantanium in it as some kind of
Percentage.
concentration.
Yep.
So it might be 2% for 15 rocks. It might be 10%, and it's a hard working mine, or it could be a couple of 40%ers, and you're giggling. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. On Lyria, it doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or it does matter if it's 1, pardon me. If it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13, if you find more than one and they're close to each other, it's always Quantanium. Out
And
here,
it's got to be close. It's nut to butt. It's right close. You'll
Yeah.
know if they're doublers, if they're 1,000 kilometers or 1,000 meters away. If they're only 1 kilometer away, it's not a doubler.
right. That's exactly right. It's not a doubler if it's, but they're on top of each other, and so in the air and Halo, it's different. There are singles, there are clusters. Like if you see a cluster just popped up here, there are. But not everything's Quantanium like that. That is a unique meta in the Stanton universe on Lyria, and one of the reasons that we, quite honestly, why we hunt, why we go there so often. Now, this is a good sign, right? This is 4 rocks that are Quantanium, and the reason I know that if one of these rocks, and so this is the other thing we're saying. If one rock in a cluster in the Halo is Quantanium, all of them have Quantanium in it. So now we need to move in and scan all these rocks. I did want to say to Patrick Waja, he said he downloaded the app. It's simple but amazing. Thank you so much, Patrick, for doing that. Number one, I truly thank you for that. And always understand, if you want to provide some feedback, if you have an idea for it, we're always open. We definitely are always looking for feedback. So if you use it for a while and you're like, it'd be cool if it did this or that, and then do expect an update. There's an update coming here sometime in the next week or so.
The other thing, Ultra says, does it really matter on Lyria? Well, I mean, to some people it does.
Yep.
But it's, I really like the orphanage. I'm a big advocate of orphanage on Lyria. Other people like different places. 72 was at the South Pole today and found 27 SCU like within 10 minutes of flying there. I like the orphanage, but it's a matter of preference. I don't know that there's actually, a better or worse place for it. It's just kind of luck of the draw.
I agree with that. Just like it was luck of the draw on those 4 right there that we just passed. There was the best one was a 3.43%er in a 4-pack.
Oh yeah, so it wasn't even worth breaking the first one. No.
Nope. And so that's definitely, we got to keep on a looking here. So, and that's okay. I'm enjoying the stream tonight. So if it takes a little bit longer to find that second batch, it does, right? That's just the way it goes. All right, so we're cruising along here. Let's see what we got here. That is going to be here's another Quantanium. That's an 11%er. What's this guy? This guy here. We'll go in here and scan the second one.
I'm gonna be right back while you do that.
No problem. And this is a 6%er. So 11 and a 6%er between those two. Still not quite enough concentration in there to make it worth our while. We'll keep moving. Andre says, "You're not going to believe what happened to me yesterday. I pulled the trigger on the MSR. So I thought it would be good to use for a quant run. Upon making it to Virginia, a bug happened. I got a crime stat. Gun started firing and destroyed me. I lost all my Quantanium. And the MSR destroyed in her maiden trip, and I ended up in jail." So you're using your MSR as a hauler, and you got yourself a crime stat. Oh, Andre, I've definitely gotten myself in a jam once or twice with my hauler too, and that's always a bummer. That's funny as heck. Sandy Claus, none of the rocks are scanning in the Halo mine or scan mode. If you're in the Halo and no rocks are scanning, just do a quick little jump and just kind of get out of that area for a minute. I've seen that once or twice in my day. And if you just kind of jump towards something and then just jump and then jump out of it real quick, just get into a different spot, and then you'll probably you'll have better luck. Andre, it was traumatic, but I managed to cover. Hey, Andre, I think you did it. First of all, congratulations. The MSR is an excellent ship. When the MSR first came out, I kind of slept on the MSR a little bit, not a ton, but a little. I slept on the MSR, and then then all of a sudden I started noticing, it's like, man, that MSR has got a lot of quantum fuel. That's a good ship. I mean, it's actually a really good ship. You made a good choice. That 96 SCU is a respectable hauler. It definitely is a respectable hauler, and it's just a great ship. I think you're gonna like the MSR. It's also a very good rock mining platform. It's got a lot of versatility. The MSR. Yeah, that is really funny.
Yeah, the MSR is all over the place. That's not bad.
All right, I got to get in here and scan this other one. One of them was a 2%er. See if we can get a scan to go. I know they scan. I'm going to get out the mining laser and head in here. They were scanning. I know I scanned one. Yeah, there's the 2%er. Sometimes you just got to get in here with the, get your hands dirty and get the mining laser on it. Notice it's a Q type. That's the Quantanium type. This is not going to be good enough. 7.5%. But you know what? Hey, more Quantanium. We're definitely starting to find some Quantanium. We're just, there was one that was really close here. Yeah.
Just got to find that little butterfly.
That's right. Find the good one there. MSA is my daily driver. It's quick. Yes, the MSR is a very good ship. Like I said, it wasn't... When it first came out, I wasn't sure, but after a while, I kind of, after I kind of really took a look at the hard numbers of that thing, it is a very good ship. It is a good ship.
See, I like the MSR. It was nice, but especially because it has the smuggling aspect of it. Like it's the hidden compartments for smuggling, and that's going to be like a really big thing later in the game. Now, the one that I bought, the Freelancer Max, I bought the Freelancer Max because it had the storage capacity for me, and it's small, just like the Cutlass. Like it's not much bigger than the Cutlass.
It's not,
and it's got 4 times the storage capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
so
that is a dedicated cargo hauler. That big double wide.
Yep, exactly.
And I think the Freelancer Max is an excellent cargo hauler, and a really good choice when you're first, because you always have to, when you have a prospector and you have that Cutlass Black, for instance, as a hauler, it's a 1-to-1. If you get 2 full loads of Quantanium for, you have to make 1 run and come back and get the second one. It's nice to be able to put 4 or 5 loads on board.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
haul at one time.
Ultra was just saying you usually use Refine at ArcL1 for Lyria. Yeah, you have to use ArcL1 for Lyria, otherwise you'll never get there in time. To anywhere else that you're going, you'll never get there in time if you're running, you know what I mean? If you're running Quantanium, you'll never get to anywhere else in time. You have to go to ArcL1.
One person did tell me one time with their mole, they use the XL1 drive and they go from Lyria to CRUL1, but I don't think that's a trip I'd want to make.
I don't know. I would have to say that that would have to be like the mole unicorn, and we've got nothing but 100%ers. Bing, bing, bing. We've got 13 minutes left, and we can get to Crew L1.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying you can't make it.
Exception and not the rule.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't make it, that's for sure. Andre's making a good point, and one of the things that we do, Andre, is you're absolutely right. I mean, just because I can load 500 SCU of refined Quantanium into my M2, that doesn't mean I do it. I don't. I mean, I kind of have a limit of like a Taurus, which is 174 SCU, but I even feel more comfortable down around that down around that Freelancer Max, that 122 SCU type. That's where I feel a little more comfortable, where I don't want to just crawl under my desk and go fetal if I lose that, lose a load. I mean, I definitely, and especially if it's an organization type thing, I definitely would rather make break up the runs instead of losing it all in one just, terrible stroke of luck, so, but different people feel differently about that. That's my comfort level. So Ultra says, how big of a pay cut is doing non-quant? Well, first of all, I will say, Ultra, cut your teeth on non-quant. Do a little bit of mining of non-quant. And understand that, the best thing you're ever going to find Bexlite is about half. So that means with a good Bexelite run, you're still going to make over 100,000 easily. You can make 125,000 on a uni Bexy run. That's nothing to sneeze at. So you can make good money. And the thing is, you never have to worry about the timer. You never have to worry about any of that stuff. That's interesting that it says it's a signature of 10,000 and there's just the one rack there.
Yeah, see the MSR, Ultra's saying the MSR is 114, including the smuggler area. Now, see, that's why I like that. That's why I like that Freelancer Max, because you get that extra area, 120, and you're looking at, you're looking at 4 prospector runs at 120. You're not going to get 4 unis. And if you get 4 unis in a row, then good on you.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
I hope that you have that Taurus to move it. But if you got, if you got the 3 unis and a 27, you can move it with that Freelancer Max.
I didn't know the MSR was 114. I thought it was in the same category as like the Andromeda, the 96 or those crafts. So that is kind of cool, though. It's a little bit north of that. But I agree. Obviously, the Freelancer Max having that 122 is a good gig, and I think if I were to guess, I would imagine the Freelancer Max is a little bit less money than the MSR. Probably half the cost. Cool. So that's the amount of quant he lost yesterday. 114. Ouch. I've lost that before. I feel that pain. Now this guy is not scanning here. Of course, I do have these guys up here.
See, that is kind of the benefit of being involved with an org, is that you have a lot of Quantanium to move. You can get some escorts.
Yep, you can get some escorts for sure. But it does sound like it maybe was something happened and he ended up getting himself a crime stat. So I didn't catch exactly how all that went down, but ouch. But you know what? We've lost. You just go right back out, put your nose with the grindstone, get back on the horse, and go after it again. It's just what you got to do. I mean, and I've had a couple of times when in my mining life where I'm just like, I took a day off or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But you got to get back on the horse and go get it go after it again, and maybe the next time you go hauling, take 60 that time, and then get yourself back up to where you're comfortable again.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right about that.
Hey, there's
a big cluster.
Here's a clusto. Let's go ahead and that is going to give us a signature scan of 35,000. Okay. And then we'll see if we can get one of those to. Looks like these might not be happy rocks. We'll see here. Yeah, it doesn't look like that one's going to scan for me. That's too bad. And that happens. You do find these clusters out here from time to time that just won't scan. I'm trying several different ones, and it's just not happening. So move on. It happens. All right, Andre saying the worst part is not being able to drink because you have to work the next day. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I definitely don't do as much drinking on the days before I have to. There's a doubler. And then Mocklin Group says the only time I've had issues recently was SE security forces scanning you as you jump into quantum, giving you a crime stat. Yeah, that can happen. I've had that happen before too.
That actually happened to me too. I jumped in as the sec forces were scanning me. I jumped into quant, and then I got a crime stat, and I got everything confiscated, and I went to nerd jail, and the whole works. And it was, oh man, it was brutal. Yeah, that has happened before, and yeah, I mean, the odd time it does happen, but it's the exception and not the rule. So yeah.
Rather be traveling says I didn't see, but if you use the mining laser, they might scan. That's true. I tend to find that they don't scan at all, though, mining, or rather, it's you'll get in there close, and a lot of times they don't. I've never seen it where I can never get any V-scan at all, and then I get close. Usually that means they're dead rocks, but I understand what you're saying, and it sometimes shaking it up a little bit's a wise idea. This is an 8% Quantanium. We're going to keep on moving.
The other thing too, though, is like it's different in the Halo than it is on Lyria.
Mm-hmm.
On Lyria, I've never had a problem like eventually getting them to scan, but in the Halo, it is a known bug that there are rocks that will not scan in the Halo. Yeah.
Absolutely, and by the way, Rather, I don't know that I've ever seen you on the stream before, so welcome aboard. How you doing tonight? Yeah, I agree with that 100%. There's a signature scan. We'll keep on this guy and see if we get him to cough up the goods. The slower scan. This is just a single. 4931 diamond, gold, and Borace. We'll keep on looking. Keep on looking. This guy's pretty close. Let's go ahead and let's put the laser on him, or the scanner on him.
Yeah, 2% after 2% after 2%. No, I hear you, Sandy Claus.
It happens.
This is the miners, the miners' fatigue. I get that.
Oh yeah.
You just gotta hang in there because they're out there. They're out there, man. The big ones are out there.
Yep. You just don't get the 200,000 payoffs. Sometimes they cough them up a little harder than. I can see the rock right there. You can see it. It's actually right there, but it's not. It's not drawn. All right. Well, we'll pivot back towards this guy. Move towards this one. Zeller, I've got them to scan. If you change the profile, change the profile of the rock. I don't know that I know what you mean by. Like maybe you mean circle around it a little bit. That I have seen that one time. Here's our 3-pack. Let's see if the 3-pack kind of follows the meta, like we said. Usually
a 3-pack, the 3-pack. Yeah.
The old dreaded 3-pack.
It's like 2-pack, but better. It's a 3-pack.
Yeah, the old 3-packs. They have not ever been Quantanium, so that's a Laranite tungsten. We'll just keep on rolling. So yeah, earlier
3-pack again. So that kind of proves too. Like we've seen at least 3-packs.
Yep.
And nothing Quantanium, so that kind of proves that almost indefinitely. I mean, I would keep looking at them. You just never know when that meta changes, but at the same time, it's you can pretty much scooch right by those, right?
Yeah,
3-pack you can move on. You don't have to worry about it.
That's exactly right. Rather Be Traveling says, what I find disappointing is when you do find some rocks, and 2 to 3 rocks at 45% each. Hey man, I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, leaving some on the table, but that's a happy day for me. I am happy just to grab a uni and go if I need to. And one of the things we do in the org, I think, or at least we try to, is just mention it into the chat in case anybody else is around. It doesn't happen much, but if someone else is around, heck, you might be able to grab a mole and really have a day of it. So there's a.
You know what, Santa Claus, Laranite, 4.9 at 8%. I think you're trying to say 4,900 at 8%. I don't know if an 8% Laranite is worth it.
No, not a whole lot of money in that one.
I wouldn't think so.
This is Hephaestonite and tungsten. So
you
this
gotta
one,
get like a 48% at 4.9. Yeah.
Ma Griebel saying, I always find 40%ers together. Yeah, that's a curse I wish I had.
That's a first world problem right
yeah,
there.
That's exactly right. I like that. I like, but I understand what you're saying. If you're out in your prospector and you find more than what you can mine. I found 160 SCU cluster the other day. I mentioned it, and no one was around to do anything with it. But you know what? I grabbed my 32 SCU and headed on in, and never thought twice about it. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. You know what, Andre? Just saying there, the Halo is nowhere near as profitable as Lyria. Now, I mean, it comes and goes in waves. Like
Right.
you found 2 unicorns in Lyria by now. He says, well,
Not always.
We may or may not have, because look at how much time we've spent on Lyria not finding anything. Like it's an hour between a decent rock. I don't know. I don't know. I think this time it's pretty random at this point.
It is pretty random, and there's no question that tonight it seems like, we found that 27 SCU real fast, and now we're out here scanning for we've probably been out here longer than 15 minutes, maybe even a half hour, 45.
Yeah, half hour for sure.
But something, that's just the way it goes. There's no magic, to it. And people were asking if we'd come to the Halo. I thought we'd come give it a try. I've had some good luck in the Halo lately, but you just don't ever know.
Just never know. Spearhead 1011 says, you ever use surges or stampedes? Yes, Spearhead. He likes to use brants and filters, and I use surges and stampedes. That's my gig. But that's kind of it's everybody's choice. It's how you like to play it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is funny. I mean, I know you hate to pull away from that 6,000 mass, 6,100 where it's 40%, and I understand why.
Yes.
There's a lot of argument to be made that says that surge is the right way to go. You're not leaving as much stuff, on the table. And I definitely, I think that there are fair arguments that says that this, having the surge is a good idea. I myself just like the FLTRLs and Brant. It's just kind of, I like the fact that we all can do it our way.
That's
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. That's what you do. You do the vanilla mining. I'll do a little more extreme. I'm gonna go a little harder, and
Sure.
I'm gonna push that envelope a little bit, and maybe get a little better payday. But at the same time, I could be cutting myself off at the ankles by not taking some of those smaller ones. You know what I'm saying?
That,
right?
yeah, it definitely has its ups and downs, give and take. Everything's got a little give and take.
It's just a matter of opinion. It's really a matter of opinions.
I agree with that 100%. That's a 40,000 signature scan. Hopefully one of these. I know we did have a 4-pack of Quant. Let's see if we see what we have here. 4931. This is diamond, corundum, and gold. We'll keep on moving. So we definitely have seen lots of clusters in the Iron Halo. Nothing that we've seen so far that we want to mine. So 5122 mass. That is a 7.5% Quantanium. We'll keep moving. Yeah, I'm not going to turn over that quite that far. Let's keep on rolling. Colin Gerald, how are you doing this evening? Yeah, the old 7.5% Quantanium. Not quite enough in that guy. And we see this from time to time. I mean, there's times when you get 3 in a row, and then all of a sudden it's a little cold. This is just the way it goes. Just got to keep your foot on the gas and keep grinding. All right, that's going to be a signature scan. That guy is not scanning. I don't. Oh, yep, there she goes. Yes, I do scan singles in the Halo. You can find that 150, 122 that's got, 35%, and you're off to the races. Little different meta than Lyria, for sure, in the Halo.
So, do you think that on Lyria, though, that there would be singles just like this? Like, because now you're doing singles in the Halo, but you won't do singles on the Lyria. What do you think?
And part of it is because
you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, well, part of it is just because if it's not a single, it's guaranteed to be Quantanium.
That's right. Yeah,
it's
so
that
you're
guaranteed.
The singles on the Lyria. Yeah,
it's guaranteed. It's not guaranteed in the Iron Halo. I mean, as we found, we've seen several clusters tonight in the Iron Halo, and only one of them has had Quantanium in it. And it, in the highest percentage in that one out of those 4 rocks was 3.43. Ultra is saying, here's something more peaceful for me, cruising on a planet than the Halo. I agree with that. I do like.
I agree with that as well.
Surface mining is definitely, there's a little more eye candy. I agree with that 100% Ultra. And I definitely, that being said, people do ask about the Halo, and here's our one of our 3-packs here. People do ask about the Halo, and I do like to just kind of come out here and do a little mining. And the other day, like the stream I did, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I found one pretty quickly. It is what it is. It's just one of those things. Now I'm not getting this scan. There's a 3-pack. Let's see here. This is going to be diamond, bexolite, and aluminum. We'll keep on moving.
Okay, so that's 4 now. We've seen 4 triples, and none of them have been Quantanium. I think we can say with a pretty good specimen that
good.
there are no triples in the Halo.
Well, and that
was the idea, but
right.
I just wanted to. I mean, not that I don't trust anybody, but I want to see it for myself, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if that is it just this area, but I can tell you right now it is interesting, and that's over a few days. I mean, the few times I've been out to the Halo here, I probably now scanned maybe 15 or so 3s, and I've never seen them be quant. So Andre is saying he spent a good amount of time in Lyria testing the theory, and I managed to find one single 40% quant. You will find singles on Lyria.
Well, just like you'll find singles on Halo.
Absolutely. You will find singles there for sure.
6 cluster all Laranite on Lyria. I don't know. I would say that they had maybe 2%. All of them had maybe 2% quant. I haven't seen all Laranite on Lyria.
All right, so this is a Quantanium cluster. So we'll move in on this guy and see if we can get lucky here. And hopefully in these, I mean, obviously the other 5 that I have to scan, now one of these will have something in it. So we'll kind of get close and we'll get out the laser here and we'll hope. This is a 5122, and that is a 3.92. That's not going to do it.
Jazz says Walla is great for singles.
Walla also has some that's a 3.24%. Walla also has some really interesting looking rocks in general, like with these green crystals on them. This is a 4931 at 6.75. Boy, we are definitely. I mean, we found some Quantanium out here tonight, but nothing's got anything in it. That's a 2.1, and this is the one that we originally scanned, I think. We just need one of these guys. That guy's not it either. 5.25, and this is our last opportunity in this quant cluster. And she is not. I bet you this is the one I originally scanned because it's not scanning now. So I'll go in and pop it one time. And if that's the case, this didn't have anything in it. Yep.
But, okay, sorry. Sandy Claus was saying in the Halo, you got a 6-rock cluster, all Laranite. Well, I mean, if you got any good percentages of Laranite, I would say take it. If there's any rocks there that have good percentage of Laranite, like 30, 40%, I would say take that. Because that's going to be worth money. Absolutely.
I don't have any problem. I'll mine Laranite any day of the week. I have no problem with it. I think
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're getting almost half of what you're getting for Quantanium, and there's no counter. There's no, you know what I mean? You can do that all night.
You can break it down and make sure you have
you get a full cargo. Yeah.
You can break it down and make sure you get a full cargo. You're not in a hurry with that one. And so Jazz is saying, well, it's great for singles. Yep. Andre's asking about Microtech. Microtech Andre is windy. Like, it's weathery. It tends to blow the prospector around, I find. And so it can make mining a little more tedious, although there's excellent Quantanium there. Colin Gerald's, I like to watch people mine because to me it's relaxing, but I'd rather do bounties because the money is way more. I think I agree with that. I think people.
Yeah, he's probably right.
Yeah, I think I don't argue the people who are top level bounty hunters. I don't argue the fact that they probably make a little better money than the mining. But you know, mining's so relaxing. It's what I love to do. So I get that, Colin. That makes sense. Jeremy Hickman, welcome to the. I just had 9 rocks in the Halo. 2 were 45%. All others 2. Hey, I'll take those. You know, that's awesome. I'll take a 45%.
Get 2 rocks at 45% quant. Plan your strategy. Make sure that before you start scooping, you've already, made your plan to get back to your closest L1, Lagrange 1 point.
Yeah.
And take those 45% quants, but don't scoop until you have to.
Yes, absolutely. That's a surefire way to get yourself a uni right there. All right. We'll keep on a rolling here. We've scanned a lot of rocks and just haven't found the right ones yet. So that
will the mole resist?
Is the mole a little more resistant to the winds? Good question. I didn't solo mole too much there. You know.
The other thing that I think is that the mole is a much bigger target. It's more like a sail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think she's going to get pushed a little bit. Now, here's an interesting one. This is a 5122 at 23% quant. So 5122 mass, 23.19. So this is probably going to be in the mid-20s, I'm thinking. What I was.
It's 23.5.
Well,
23.5 quant.
All right.
5122 at 23%. Yeah.
I will probably do this guy then. So I'm going to position myself. I mean, you know, you're out here for a little while. You can't kind of turn yourself down on a.
That's $200,000. That's 200,000 AUC. That's not bad.
No, it's not great. It's not a. You know, it's not a uni.
And you might not collect 200,000, but you're gonna get close.
Right. That's exactly right. So we're gonna go ahead and break this guy up. 51. It's the biggest mass you can find in space, but a 23%er. So she's not gonna be a uni, but it's gonna be an excellent load.
Yeah, in the Halo, the 5122 is the biggest one so far. That will change. I guarantee it.
Yes. Oh, that will definitely change.
But right now, you can get the big rocks on Lyria, and that's why we use the Surge and the Stampede, and then a Lifeline, just in case. But you get that first rock broke, you're giggling. You're a full uni for sure.
And so why we got you here, and we're doing the mining, I will mention, just so you guys know, we were trying to get to 500 subs. If you guys happen to have, if you did happen to join us today, and you like the channel, give us a like and a sub. I don't ask very often. If you go back through the streams, it's not something I ask for very often. But we're right at 5. We were trying to get 500 tonight. So if you happen to be here, you happen to like it, you know, definitely. I mean, we do this kind of mining a lot. Just, you know, we try and answer all your questions, help as much as we can, but I thought I would have just at least take a moment and shamelessly plug right in the middle of the rock mining here. So, all right. So we got this guy here. We're about 50% through. I've got 100% laser intensity, and we will go ahead and you know, it's a 1.5 instability. This should be a fairly easy break. You can see I've got a real good contrast. I've got the sun in a spot where, where I've got real good contrast for the UI. And we are at about maybe 70% inclining.
It's not his first day.
rather be traveling. That is because I have the Aerial Armor Gray set, or Gray Cat Aerial Armor Hazard, the yellow, the helmet of that particular. I'm wearing the whole suit just because I like it, but you only need to wear the helmet. That's how you get the yellow icons. Excellent question. It's one we get asked a lot.
We do get asked that a lot, but you know what? It's a hidden little Easter egg in this game that if you don't know, you don't know.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
And because it is our secondary or uniform, we all have it, and I use it, and that's the only one that I ever use other than operation nights.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
So I always get the yellow. I don't like the light blue because it doesn't contrast. Especially
on Lyria for sure.
On Lyria, yeah, because Lyria has so many grays.
Yeah, it's got exactly a lot of that hue is.
Yep. So if you got yellow, it's so much easier.
All right, so we have a pretty good. I mean, this isn't bad. That was a 78%er. This has nothing in it. So this one's going to have stuff in it too. So we got a 78%er. Oh, I guess not here. Let me just double check. This guy's got 78. And that is, 76, okay. And then this guy was another one that had stuff in it. 721. 87. And the rest of these seem to kind of... So not a bad break. That doesn't have anything. Looks like it's just a couple rocks to break.
Well, that's a good thing. Couple rocks to break is not a bad thing.
Not at all.
That's not the one.
Well, I honestly think it's just these two. Unless there's one I'm not seeing there. So does that math wash?
It's gotta be. That'd have to be a really, really big.
So that's a 709 at 76%, and there was just this guy. That's the only other something with something in it. And that is a 721 at 87. So. Yes. I'll just look one more time.
So 721 at 87 is 12.5 Quantanium.
Yep. Okay, so that's... So that is...
What was the other one, sir?
The other one is... I don't think it was that one, actually. I think it was this one. No, it is this one. 708 at 76%. Yeah.
So that's another almost 11.
Okay. Well, that's
almost 11, and the first one was 20. Yeah. So that, that's pretty close to that. That almost works out there, buddy. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the maths anyway. So we'll kind of make it happen here. See if I can break them both in a one rant. Let's see. We'll have that little mini game going. Sandy Claus, it's Spectre. Like, the name is Spectre Fleet. It's SpectreFleet.space.
I just put it in, my friend.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, sir. And great group of, and you don't have to, we do a lot of mining stuff for and I, but we have unbelievable Marines, great fighter pilots, logistics, large ship stuff, medical teams.
Medics.
Yeah, medics, exactly. You can specialize in whatever you want. We have really good training and certification programs. All of the above. I think you'd enjoy it. But it's no pressure. We always want people to have fun. That's always the thing first. We always want you to have fun and make sure it's a good fit.
Right. Just about got her. Half of the way there.
Yeah. All broken these two, huh? It's weird. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what we got here. You can see what's left of my brand floating off there. There's a hundo. Yeah, not a bad way to start. One of these is not going to be... Alright, there's the 21. Alan, I don't have a surge on me with this particular build. I have an FLTRXL, and I have 2 brands. That's what I have on me on this particular run.
See, but that's the thing in space. You don't necessarily need the surges because the biggest rock you're going to find is 5122. So if you're on the planet, that's when you need the surges. Not in the space, but when you're on the planet. So because I can find 8600s on the planet, but not in space, right?
Absolutely.
And until they change that, and it will change, it's that's just the meta right now.
It is. Yeah. Yep. There's a 12%er. We'll come back for that guy. This guy will probably be full bore, if I had to guess. Hundo. So yeah, there's that 20 was in there solid. We'll come back and grab this guy here. There's a little bit in that guy.
Perfect.
And there's a little bit in that other guy, and we'll call it good. That's gonna, whenever you end up with over 20 SCU, you're not gonna complain.
Yeah, can't really argue with that.
It doesn't look like there's a whole lot in that one. There's a little bit more in this one. Hopefully we'll get the 23 SCU here. Darn close. That's
why scouting them first works, right?
Yep.
Scouting them first. Yep.
I'm going to back away here.
Because there's no point in getting anything that you don't need there.
That's exactly right.
You could be scooping all day, and then now all of a sudden you got first alarm, and you haven't even made your way back to Arcal 1, and you're 5 or 6 million away, right?
Absolutely. All right, so heading back to Arc L1 now. And you know what? That Aaron Halo run, it took a little while to find something worth mining. And that is the nature of the beast. Sometimes you are going to fall right into whatever, and it's going to, happen. Sometimes you have to grind it out a little bit, and that's mining. It really is. You have to keep your foot on the gas. You just have to, and you will. And I mean this with the utmost respect. You will get a little fatigued now and then. It's just like, oh man, am I ever going to find anything? But you will.
Absolutely.
You will.
And you question yourself, but at the same time, you know what? You keep rolling, you keep rocking, and you will find something.
Yep. You absolutely will. So we are going to head back to Arc L1, and we will throw this guy in the hopper. And then we'll do a little post-flight, and then we'll figure it out from there. I don't know where you're at for, but I'm still feeling a touch froggy. Maybe I could head back to Lyria and look one more time. It's up to you, though, my friend. I mean, it's,
man.
We haven't ran along long.
I'm down for whatever, man. I'm having a couple of wobbly pops, and I'm just relaxing. So
I mean, we could even get crazy and head over to Walla and see if we find something. I mean, we may not. I mean,
I don't know about Walla. I'm not sure.
You know what? Maybe I could even throw a surge. I don't know. I'd have to see. I don't know. There may not be surges in Arc L1 though. I think they're only stampedes. So, or maybe it's vice versa. I'll look while I'm down there. Maybe I'll throw on, because people have been asking, and I definitely. It's not like I haven't done the double surge before. You know what I mean?
Do you have any in your?
I think I have I can't remember. It's either surges or stampede. One of the two of the things that I'd like to have are not there. So maybe we'll kit out the ship a little different and go see if we can,
All right.
see how we do.
I think it'd be kind of fun to put on a surge, and let's see how we do on Lyria with maybe a big one.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily have to go out of our way. I mean, we won't look a gift horse in the mouth. You know what I mean? But if we happen to find something that's a 6,000 mass and we've got to dig it out, do a double surge, and nothing wrong with it. Oh
yeah, I've always been a advocate of a controlled explosion. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, you're right about that. Put
something on top that doesn't deserve to be there. A guy could blow it up, but as long as you don't blow up anything below it, I mean, it's a fine line, right?
Yep. KSS is saying HURL1 for surges, not RCL1. So I may not be. Maybe I'll just have to go out with the old vanilla if I don't,
Oh, yeah, you can't get surges on RCL1, no.
Yeah, I knew it was one. And Stampedes or surges, one of the two. But I couldn't remember, so. Why is that guy up already?
Oh, well, that's okay. Don't even worry about it. We'll
just go back out. We'll head over to Lyria.
Well,
you
gotta get landed here first, anyway.
Yeah, we don't want to put the cart in front of the horse.
You don't let the tail wag the dog here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We got to get this guy down, and we haven't heard first alarm yet. We're in good shape. Walla has a lot of Terranite. That's a good thing to know. Thank you, Alan. I don't do a lot of Walla mining, but I will say I went to Walla the other day, and I really like the way the rocks look. They have this green crystal in them, and they're called Arcanite. And they just looked cool. Now the Quantanium didn't have the green flecks in them like the other things did, but Walla's kind of cool. I did like that. Jeremy Hickman is saying, why not Halo from CRUL1? Nothing wrong with that, Jeremy. It is an excellent thing to do.
That's where I went. That's where I kind of made my bones on the air in Halo, was from QRL1 over to, I don't know what it was, RCL5, or I believe.
Yep.
And then that's where, and then you drop out at 14 million. Yeah. I did that route a lot. I liked that route, and I made a lot of Quantanium there.
Yep.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
And we did a couple org events over there where we made quite a bit of money.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely.
And CRUL1 is an excellent place to bring your Quantanium to. There's no question about it. It's it's got that 3% refining bonus. Excellent,
right.
Excellent place to do it.
So that pays for your taxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That little bit you lose in the refining process, it offsets a lot of that, almost all of it. And it, you know what? Over 15, 20 refining jobs, that adds up. It does. It can be 100 units or 8,000. It might be it might be 100,000 after 12 jobs.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of Wallas. Go to Walla. Let's try Walla.
Yeah, I heard Walla. Oh, yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, we got some Wallas.
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I know we can go to Lyria and absolutely make money. Walla, we probably end up flying around a little bit, but I'm not opposed to it. All right, we got that guy stored. Let's go ahead and take a look. By the way, that's when I got murdered in Bajini in the touchdown. I got a crime stat. The cannons fired on the MSR. Oh, man. Maybe they didn't like how much money I spent on it. Oh, I hear ya.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna shoot you because you maybe made too much. It's like kicking you out of the casino. We're gonna take your chips too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, Walla is not a hot zone like Lyria. You're absolutely right, Alan. That's why I think I'm kind of leaning towards Lyria because I've already dragged you guys along through the air in Halo for 35 minutes of. JM Corp, welcome to the stream. If you're in a hurry, you don't have to wait for the animation getting down the ladder. As soon as the door opens, bull rush the door opening. JM, that's actually an interesting point. I've never tried to do that. I always do just kind of let the animation go. If I'm in a hurry, I'll just land on the wrong pad and let it store my shit. But yeah, no, I never knew that you could just maybe click that thing and then run out the door really quick. I'll have to try that, JM. I appreciate the tip. Alright.
Hey, back again, I see.
We're getting this guide to the refinery here.
See anything you like?
We will pick this guy here. We will set up a work order. And we will go to the Dynic Solvenation. Get that guy in the hopper. So we got a little Quantanium in the hopper here. I'm just going to kind of do some rough numbers here. 25 and 18. So 35, 40, 43, 30, 73. 27, so 100 flat, 130, 156, and then 166, 176, 177. 177 SCU in the hopper. Not too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad. We put in at least 60, 65, something like that in the hopper tonight.
So Patrick's saying, I have bugged ships. Equipment is missing like guns, laser, etc. What should I do? I will lose my 700K. Please help. So Patrick, you might want to check to make sure that equipment isn't back at your home starting station. They've changed the way that they do some of that stuff. Also, if you haven't logged in since the wipe, like I don't know when's the last time you logged in. Maybe it's one of those. I know that there was a wipe. I don't know if you were just logged in yesterday and had all that stuff, then you should still have it. But it's a good question, Patrick, and I'm not entirely sure of that situation. But I myself have gotten things lost where then I go back to my home station and I see that I forgot that stuff was still there. Like back at New Babbage, the Microtech area. And then JM is making an excellent you can do a character reset, and all that stuff will get coalesced all back to your starting area too. So
yeah, everything that you have around the verse will bring back to your original starting area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. As soon as you do a character reset.
Yep. Character reset's an excellent way to kind of, if you have stuff scattered all over the verse, you can do a character reset and it will all come back to the one spot. All right, so this guy's empty. We'll go ahead and see. I have lots of stampedes, but it's the surges that aren't here. Okay. Oh, and then Etheric Bard says you can check knickknacks too to see where things are at. That's a very good tip, Etheric. Thank you for that one. Knickknacks is not something I use all the time, but it is a pretty handy thing. People should get familiar with it. And then Mach 1 Griebel says I had to character reset because of a Bork prospector. All my refinery jobs were still there, though. Oh, that's a good point. I guess I didn't
think
about,
lucky.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I have never had to do a character reset where I had that many jobs. I would be scared. I've heard that your ship can get impounded and that can fix missing equipment. That's possible too. I mean, I definitely have heard of different situations where you get it stored and that type of thing. So far, I got 7 completed mining orders to cash. Going to use a free C2 to deliver it tomorrow. Love the C2. Oh, Patrick, you will if you do a character reset. If you have 700,000, like AUEC. Like here, take a look here. I have 6.8 million. If I did a character reset, I'd still have that 6.8 million. That won't go away from a character reset. That's never been my experience that you lose your current AUEC. What about you, four?
I've never lost dollars except for the big wipe.
Yep.
That was it. Yep.
The big wipe you do, but yeah, I've never one time lost my AUEC by resetting. You know what I mean?
No, you'll lose everything else. You'll lose your refinery loads. You'll lose all your ammunition. You'll lose all sorts of stuff, but your dollars will stay there.
Yep.
Unless it was, like I said, unless it was the big wipe.
Yep. Patrick said he's going to do that now. You will lose ammo. Yeah, that's one thing you definitely will lose. You will lose ammo. You might lose like any of your like batteries for your pyro tools and that type of thing.
Well, the same thing too. Like what's it called? Like med pens. I lost med pens too. But
yep, med pens. All your consumable type things, you'll definitely lose. So.
Yeah, if you've got consumables like in backpacks and stuff, you'll lose those too. Oh yeah. Like, 'cause I had waters and foods in all my backpacks, and then they were gone too. But yeah.
So KSS is saying, is there any way to launch your ship from Klesher? I got impounded with a mole full of Quant, and I'm wondering if I can fly the ship out of there rather than claim. Is that your only option, KSS, is claim on the mole? Because if it is, then I would definitely, if the only thing you can do is claim, where's it at? Because that's the question then. If it's claimed because you're on Hurston or you're on Everest Harbor, but it's at say Bajini, then just fly a different ship to Bajini. You know, I mean, and see if it's retrieved there. Wherever the ship could be retrieved is where you'd want to deal with it, but don't claim it. You will definitely lose. Now, if for some reason it's like in the Stanton system, and it's claimed, then you've lost what's on there. For sure,
Yep.
KSS.
That's a really good tip. Don't, if you can avoid any kind of claiming, don't claim it because you will lose. So, just get to where it is and then drive it home, or drive it to the nearest Lagrange station, Lagrange 1. Get it there and get your thing offloaded. Yeah, it should be there when you come out of jail.
Santa Claus.
Just like your armor, when you come out of jail, your armor it comes back on. It should be the same in your ship.
Jam Corp saying you'll get back every gown you've ever dropped. That's true. You get all the gowns. You'll stack up those boxes. Jeremy Hickman says, and everything you have around the versus moves to the home planet. That is absolutely true. Very good tip, Jeremy. Sandy Claus, are they wiping before 3.17? They don't necessarily announce that, Sandy. They don't, I know that there was the hard wipe that happened, what was it, 3.15? But they hadn't done that in a while, and I don't think they're going to be doing it with 3.17. I'd be surprised. But when the cargo rack refactor comes to 3.18, they might. And I'd
be surprised if they decide to turn it into a beta game. Then I could see a wipe. I don't see another wipe until then. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
but,
no, I wouldn't argue with that opinion. I think that it'll just depend with the cargo refactor. But you know what, the cargo refactor may not happen in 3.18 either. So. When you leave, it will be in Everest, Jam Corp says, and he's talking about the mole. Let us know on that, KSS, I'm curious. Alan Daly says, I did a CR, lost 10 surges, and I bought and an FL. Oh, you will lose the FLTRXL if you do, if you will lose your consumables and your mining modules if you do a character reset. So that is one thing to consider. KSS, on the ASOP, it says the ship's location is Klesher. It was impounded at Arc L1. I am there, but it says Klesher on the terminal. Was wondering if it's possible to fly to Klesher and get it. I don't think it is, KSS.
I think that you should be able to load it from Everest Harbor if it's on Klesher.
So I decided to fly back to Lyria, a little bit more of a sure thing, I'm hoping, than Walla. I will definitely go mining Walla one day. I already felt like I dragged you guys to the air in Halo for 35, 40 minutes and just ended up with 20 some SCU. So I thought we'd come back to the honey hole here, because we're not going to be mining all night tonight. We'll probably, find one more here and dig in and see if we can get lucky and go from there. So
Yeah, well, let's try it out.
there's buckets. Let's go. You know what? There's Shubin. There's the pit. Kind of looking for some place on this side of the planet. Wheelers. How about that? We'll go to Wheelers.
Try, why not?
Yep, we'll do Wheelers. That's right there. Cool. Jamcorp says plan on a soft wipe like a character set ammo refinery jobs. Yep. Definitely, you don't build up a whole bunch of refining jobs before 3.17. Those will be gone. Cash those out. Do yourself a favor, and if you do some mining a couple days before you think they're gonna do that thing, make sure you just sell. Just sell the
You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it, or you're gonna lose it.
You will. All right, so we'll get in here and start looking around. Ultra says Space Amazon Prime. That's hilarious. And then Etheric Bartz is laughing at Ultras. Yeah, I am too. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to say it one more time. I'm sorry, you guys. I hate the shameless plug, but we are going for 500 subs tonight. We were at 490. If you do like the content, please like and sub. It means a lot to us. The channel has been going really well, and that's just going to encourage us to keep doing more stuff just like this, so we can all hang out together and do some mining. So, I thought I'd ask one more time. I'm not going to keep beating that dead horse, though, I promise. And it's not something that we do all the time, but it'd be nice to kind of break 500 subs tonight. So we were hoping to do that. Cool. So we're going to bring it in down on the deck here. We're going to break through the clouds and see if we can't find something to mine. We started out on Lyria. We went to the air in Halo, found a little bit there, and we're going to end, we're going to keep digging in here right on Lyria.
Well, we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. We can fly around on Lyria for a while, too, and then maybe go to Walla if we don't get lucky. No, I
never know.
Yeah, you don't. You never know. All right, so we're going to kind of head into the hills here. And I'm going to take her up to about 300.
Alan Daly, like he said, I don't wear my good armor when I'm mining just in case I die.
Fair enough. We definitely, yep. The Arrow set is not an expensive set of armor, thank goodness. I do like the contrast of, like we talked about, how you have this nice contrast of the yellows and these gray and bluish hues on Lyria. So that's, something that I like about this particular armor set. But, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to wear your most expensive stuff when you're out and about, especially in a prospector. If somebody does decide to take a pot shot at you, they can get you real quick. You're not getting out of there.
Well, it's the same as the org armor. You can't. We can't wear the org armor anywhere because, if you do, you have to go to Grim Hex to get it, and it's a pain in the butt. And
right.
At the same time, we wear a secondary armor, which is found on Port Tressler, and not so bad, and pretty easy to get. And as a bonus factor, you get yellow targets instead of light blue.
I like it.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. It's there's so many pluses. Absolutely.
So this is a 5400 mass at 7%. And let's see what we got here. Not a good one. This is going to be a 2%er probably. 2.13%. Off we go.
Okay, then I won't even bother plugging it in.
Alright. I did record a stream yesterday, and I had a nice uni on that one. That was a nice uni. And for those of you who are new to the stream, we call a perfect Quantanium load, like a 32 SEU Quantanium load, a unicorn. We say uni for short. We have a lot of our own vernacular here on the stream. If you hang out, you'll pick up some of it and maybe chuckle at us. We deserve it. All right, another doubler.
The doublers and the unis.
The
It's a little bit of
doublers
that
and unis.
industry jargon.
The working man's cluster. That's when you find a bunch of rocks that are all around 15, 18%. we got a lot of them that way. My cheap work armor. Sandy Claus. I fly with VKB Gladiators for the most part. Those are Hosas. But I switch to mouse and keyboard when I come into Atmo and start looking around and mining. I learned how to mine with mouse and keyboard. I like the this was just a 2%er. I like the precision for FPS stuff in mining when it comes to this is not going to be a good one either. When it comes to the so I have a little bit of a hybrid model. 4, I think, has been a mouse and keyboard flyer for the most part, but I do know that there's going to be some, like a stick and a throttle coming his way at some point here. I need to stop being lazy and get that over to you.
Wow, there's a pretty good cluster there.
Yeah.
I've only ever used mouse and a keyboard, except for like on my Xbox, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, but other than that, I've only ever used the mouse and keyboard. So now he's coming on to a cluster. Now we know that 100% for sure there's Quantanium in every single rock on this cluster. We can guarantee it because we're on Lyria.
That is a 2%er.
And
This is
they
the
might
reason we
all
came
have-
back to the honey hole, right? I mean,
They might all have 2%, but at the same time, one of them might have 45%.
That's
we
exactly
we
right.
don't know. Yep. We're gonna find out right now.
not a good one here. Another 2%er. 4 more to scan. Another 2%er. 3 more to scan.
Well, I'll stand by on QuantCalc in case.
Another 2%er. A lot of blue caps in this one.
Yep.
Alrighty, and that's another 2%er. Looking up.
Oh,
Last,
man.
but you're my only hope.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, she's gonna be like a 6 or 7. 4.5. That's an 8,000 mass too. So
Woohoo.
nothing in
but
there. We'll keep on moving.
8,000 mass, even if 4% is still only, under 10%.
Yeah.
So that's not even.
Nope.
Or under 10 SCU.
Yep.
So that's not even worth it. No.
So there's the 40-40, right? If that's kind of like 40-40. A 4,000 mass rocket 40% is 32 SCU. That's what it is. It's
40-40. Okay.
It's a
Oh, that's
40-40.
good. 40-40. Yep.
So you need an 80-20. If you're going to have like an 8,000 mass, it at least has to be 20%. But of course, you're going to need, for an 8,000 mass, you're going to need a surge or dirge. You're going to need a couple of surges and a stampede for sure for that one. Those aren't easy to, even with the double surge, when they start getting up around that 8,000 mass, those aren't easy to hold.
Right.
It'll decay out of there before you can hold it. So that is, those are big rocks. You're up around 770, 72, 7,300. You can do those. There's a doubler. Yeah. Look at
Sandy Claus was asking if you cruise with VTOL or reg. You know what? Sandy Claus, I cruise with VTOL on, because that way, like when I'm cruising low, like, and I sometimes like to cruise low, I can always just hit my space button and it cruises me up as quickly as possible. I like cruising with VTOL on.
Yes, it definitely, one of the advantage of that is, I agree 100%. If you need to get up in the air real quick and you have those VTOLs on, it makes a difference. So this could be, this is good. Look at that. That's a 6977 at 41%. So if I had the surges, that would be one we'd be taking a crack at. That's a lot of Quantanium right there. 240. That's a 48 SCU.
What did you say? 69.77 at what? At 47?
Yep, 69.77.
I got it at 65.5.
Yeah, that's 65 SCU in that rock. Holy smokes.
65 SCU in that rock.
Wow, that's a nice rock. What's this other guy? This is not going to be as good. It's 11.34%. So this, at a 5300. So that's there's a couple of, that's a nice rock I have to drive away from. So Archer's asking the old, how do you get the gold icons? It's the Arrow Grey Cat armor set, Archer, and it's the Hazard, the yellow set. That's how you get the gold icons. And one guy was mentioning to me yesterday before I forgot to say it. He said he's color. A guy was saying yesterday he's colorblind, and that Arrow armor set has really made a big difference for him.
Really?
Yeah, just because I think the contrast is so much better. Look at this. This is.
Oh wow, that's really cool. I'm glad we could help somebody like that.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Kind of caught me by surprise a little bit when he said that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
See, that was the one where I wouldn't have driven away from that, right?
No,
6,300 at 47%. That would have been, that was 50 SCU. That was a good one.
No problem, Archer. Yeah, you're absolutely right. With this build, with me having the FLTRXL and 2 brands, there's no way under heaven and earth that I'm ever breaking that rock.
No, you got to move on. Absolutely.
Yep, I got to move on. You absolutely could have taken a crack at that guy and probably got her done and had her on board.
Yeah, and you know what? I could have assumedly blown myself up too. So
yep.
There is that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mac, people saying he's colorblind too. And so that's it helps me to know it. That's good to know, Mac. I like that. That's awesome. Andre is saying, where do you buy that armor? Port Tressler is one place you can definitely buy that armor.
Yeah, you got to go on Port Tressler. You got to go to the cargo center, and then to where they sell clothing, and then you find that Arrow armor.
Yep.
That helmet. Yeah, everything that you need there. Yeah.
Very, very yellowy set, and but you only need the helmet if you want to just have the. Now, one thing I will mention to you: if you just put the helmet on and go out, you have to actually go back to menus one time. That's one other thing. You do have to go back to menus at least one time before. So if you throw that helmet on, you could go out and be like, "Hey, why is it not doing the thing?" You do have to go back to menus one time so it will reset those icons. Just as an extra little tip. JM Corp says, I would have brought my mold to help for no charge or share. You know what, JM? Here's the truth of the matter. I appreciate that. But if you come and you help, the way we do it, it doesn't matter if you're Overwatch. It doesn't matter if you're a guy in a laser. It doesn't matter if I'm the captain. It doesn't matter if I'm the CEO or you're the janitor. If I'm the CEO or you're the CEO and I'm the janitor, it doesn't matter. When people come mining with us, everybody gets an equal share. If you put into work, you get an equal cut. That's the way we like to do it. Not everybody does it that way. I don't think, I think that's the right way to do it. I want people to get incentive to come and hang out and do that kind of stuff. I appreciate that for sure. And maybe at some point down the road, we'll have one of these kind of some kind of a way to deal with that kind of a thing. If you happen to find a whole lot of Quantanium and it's like, maybe we could put up a bat signal and people can come help, someday.
You never know. That could be all right.
It would be all right.
Yeah. At the same time too, I mean,
nothing to know.
We're you can always come if you want to play in an org, come for an interview, and we can have a chat.
Yeah, that's another. Obviously, we're always looking for competent people to play with, mine with, have fun with, and you know what? One thing I guess I will mention about Spectre Fleet, our org, is you can be in another org. We don't care. We're not. You don't.
Yeah, we don't discriminate. You can be in another org. As long as we fill. We really ask for an hour maybe 2 hours on a Saturday night. That's about it.
Yep. It's not a whole lot. Back to the menus, Moby-Glass or exit the server. Just back to the menus, Ultra. So when you buy the Aerial Armor set, you just have to go back to the menus one time. And that's how, and then you'll log back in with that Aerial helmet on, and then you'll get the icons yellow.
And then you get the yellow icons. Yeah. It's a big deal. It is.
A lot of people come to the channel and are always asking about that. You know, like it's probably, you know, several times during every one of the streams. At least one time, but, you know, lately it's been several.
Yep.
It's great.
Oh yeah, well that's okay, and that's all right. That's what we're here for. We want to teach people how to do these things. It's easy to do. You just got to know what to do. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yep. Nothing wrong with questions. And the good news is between 4 and I, 100 people could come on and ask the same question. We're never gonna act silly or foul or whatever. We're always just gonna answer the question and be good humans. Now I don't know that this is actually. I don't think either one of these three are connected. That is, I could be wrong, but there's 800 between those there. I don't think any of these are. I mean, that's weird spacing. So I'm gonna look just because it's a curiosity of mine. That's a Quantanium deposit, though. Not a good one. A 2%er, maybe 3.63. But I don't think this. I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but that'd be quite the distance between those doublers. That's a granite deposit, so that's not a Quantanium deposit. What about this guy over here?
So then it's not a doubler. It's
No, it wasn't a
too
doubler.
far
Right?
apart. They got to be nut to butt.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
That one just happened to be a Quantanium single, is what it was. Archer saying I'm really interested in that, joining an org, but I'm a European player. We have a European wing to our. We have an EU portion. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Zai. We do. We have an EU wing to our org, and we are always happy to bring EU players on. Now, the EU wing is newer and it's just kind of getting started, but you know what? They have I think they have a Sunday regular. You don't have to attend every one. I mean, we all have lives. You know what I mean? We try and get you, once a week to come out and contribute and be part of an organization event. But we all have children. Lots of us have kids. Lots of us have lives. Some of us do. Some of us don't. But there's always opportunity to to make up for it. All right, 3311, 2%.
And you can always, there's ops going on lots. Any EU guy can always come in on a US op. It's not a big deal. And we do some bounty missions, we do some bunker missions, we do mining, we do all sorts of stuff. It's pretty we got a pretty diverse group.
So we have a 3987 at 38%. This is kind of following that 40-40 rule. It's not. So QuantCalc that one for me, sir. 3987 at 38%.
So that's 31.
That's right. That's not going to be a uni, but that's a good. We're not going to fly away from that one.
Yeah, that's 31 total. So, like you said, it won't be a uni because you're going to get some, but you do have that filter, which is going to help you immensely.
Yep, depending on how it breaks down.
What's the one right beside it? Did you check that one?
I did. I think that was a blue cap.
Okay, 2%er. Yeah, usually will be. Don't even worry about it.
I'm just kind of curious what it was because it's a good question. It was a blue cap, a 2.10. So cool. All right. So this is now once again I'm kind of positioned, putting the UI into the shadow just to get a little more contrast, even though we don't need a ton of it here. Like you can see with the way the sun's going down. So I will go ahead and get started on breaking this guy. Up we go. 3987 is going to be an easy break. It's going to hold charge level, easy peasy. It's a 1.78 initial instability, not difficult to break at all. Zeller Brax, welcome aboard. How you doing, Zeller? Hey, Zeller, you've been. I'm sorry, I think I've seen you. What is the org's name? It is Spectre Fleet, and I think I bet you if we were to ask nicely, Mr. Azai might put that right in the chat there. And it's SpectreFleet.space is the.
Yeah, I've got the www.spectrefleet.space is just above it. Yeah.
Yeah, and all you got to do is you just join the Discord, and there's an interview process. And if it's a good fit, it's a good fit. There's no pressure. You know, you're welcome to, but it's a really good organization. There's some really good people.
We do a little bit of an interview just to see, make sure that everybody is a good fit.
Yeah,
But
it's a good fit for everybody, exactly.
yeah.
And we really don't have a whole lot of drama. That's the good news, right? Very quiet on that front, which is lovely. All right, so yeah, that tried to jump up into the overcharge there. Go ahead.
Oh, Daly says, what do you think of two prospectors trying to crack the same rock?
It's awesome.
Like 17 mass. It works really, really well.
Yep.
You know what? The other thing that really does really well is two guys inside of a mole.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, two prospectors work the same as two moles together. There's a hundo right there. It's two guys on a mole at 9 laser. We actually run org events sometimes where we just have the prospectors doing the braking, and the moles just coming in and doing the scooping. I don't think there's anything in this one. Oh, I'm wrong. That's 57%. There's a. Looks like there's a lot that we broke up here. What's this guy? This must not be anything that. Oh yeah, there's some in this one too, huh? Well, its filter's gonna earn its pay today. What about this one? The one in the ground is nothing. So you gotta love that. That worked out nice. So I gotta get to work here. There's definitely a few in here that are gonna need to be broken, which is just fine. Just gonna keep an eye on the old optimal window here. Focus on getting this guy broke up, and there's gonna be, depending on how she breaks, there's gonna be maybe 30 SCU in here. Or better. We will not sneeze at that. Hey, put a little mustard on there for you. See that?
Well, yeah, definitely got a little extra on there. All right.
Yes. That 57% down there. We'll go ahead and break that guy next. Keeping it honest. Oh boy. Let's try to get hot quick. Hot and now. Right there. Do you have those up your way? You ever heard of hot now?
Hot now? What's a hot now?
Oh yeah, it's like a McDonald's type. It's like a chain.
Oh, okay.
Burger
I think
place.
the closest thing we have, I think, would be like a Little Caesars.
Oh yeah, we got
Little Caesars pizza was like a hot now. Yeah. That kind of thing, yeah.
Caesars is a Detroit company.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, that's the Illiches. They own the Red Wings, and then they own the Tigers too.
Nice.
Yes, Little Caesars Arena, I think actually, right? That's the new Wing Stadium?
Is that right? It's the Little Caesars.
I think
Arena?
it is, if I'm not mistaken. Hope I'm not wrong about that. I think I'm right. I haven't been down there yet to the new one. They just built her not long ago.
Power critical. Power critical.
Now you can see she jumped before I fired my Brant there. It jumped up into the overcharge pretty good. I just killed the laser. Just turned it off. Just don't panic. Just turn the old laser off. Let it fall out, and then let it recover, and then just deal with it then. See, if it's in there again, I'll just turn it off, and then I'll just kind of put a little more energy back up into it, and let it decay. Let the overcharge decay out. It's okay. You're not hurting anything to let her fall out just a touch. Now, of course, you don't want to sit here all day and break these, but nothing wrong with it. If it gets into the overcharge, it's easy to deal with if you just don't panic. Turn off the laser.
Well, the thing that I always find is that you can always recharge it.
Yep.
You can't stop it from overcharging. Once it gets to like 0.5% overcharge, like half of it is overcharged,
She's
it'll
going.
just keep climbing.
She's going. You better run.
Yeah. So you can always get back up. You can't always get back down.
That's exactly right.
See, and look at how that Lancet doubled the optimal window, even though it is still small. Now watch. Now with a Brant, it'll slow any kind of up and down motion. And you keep it right in that optimal window.
As soon as that Brant died, the instability went to 2.5 in this 100%er. 2.5 will swing wildly up and down. You fire that Brant, it brings it back to a 0.62, totally manageable. It doesn't mean you can't not pay attention. You have to pay attention when you're mining Quantanium. But it does flatten it to a point where it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Let's see if there's... I don't know. I thought this was the impacted shit. This didn't have a whole lot in it, right?
Yeah, I thought so too. No,
I think we're ready to scoop. Oh, no, I could be wrong. We're not ready to scoop. I think this one had stuff in it too. Nope, that one doesn't. All right. What about this guy? Look at. I think we. That one didn't. That one didn't. All these ones. I think all the. It's weird how that broke. I think all of the garbage was at the bottom of the pile there.
Yep.
You know what?
Right.
Well, I think we're gonna start scooping.
I think you're right.
All right. Let's start going ahead and I'll just kind of scooch over here and we'll just kind of work our way through this. I can't remember if this was all 100% or over here or not. That's 100. That's a hundo. We'll take it. And that's why we let the scan go right there. There's a hundo. Alright, we'll go to this guy. There's a hundo.
It's hard to see when it's in the green, but once you get used to that a little bit, you just gotta watch it a few times.
You do. You really do have to keep your eye. Yeah, takes a little bit. That's a 2%er. We'll leave that guy just where she lies. You really do have to keep yourself, on the up and up with that stuff. It's not always easy. Got to keep focused a little bit. All right. There's another hundo. Scanning. That's good. Another hundo. Zeller, you have a great night. Thank you for joining the stream. We really appreciated having you here. Take care of yourself, for sure. We'll see you around the verse, man. Another big old hundo, another 119er. That's good. Alright, we'll just kind of keep doing what we're doing here. Marguerite was saying the servers are a little laggy tonight. There's a nice 147 hundo. I can understand that. There's definitely been a lot of events and stuff happening. So we've crossed 20 SCU. Go ahead and...
That's a good one. Yeah, alright. That's a good...
116 there. There's the hundo. I can't remember if this guy out here on this side was a hundo or not. There's a hundo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got a bunch of them.
All right. What do we got here? I like how it's falling down there. Now there is a 95%er. I'll come back to that one. I know right where it's at. That is a 45%er.
Oh, yeah, and shit's falling down the hill.
Yeah, I do see that. Here's what's this guy here? There is 100% quartz. Okay, so we're starting to get down to it, right? Hopefully this is a hundo here. That fell off the top. Nope, that's a 32%er.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
So, it looks
Take
like...
that 95 first, I guess.
Yeah, let me scooch. I'm going to scooch over a little bit this way. And see. Okay, yep. Yeah, and... Okay, so, alright, so there was we knew we weren't getting a uni out of here anyway, so...
Yeah,
there's a 45. This was that other good one, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's good. There's 27. Then this had a little bit in it too. We'll pull that on board. That gets us over 28 SCU. And then I think this guy had... Oh, I did see a green in there, though. Or I did hit an edge case there.
Yeah, I was just going to say easy on the upside down row.
Oh, that's nothing, though, on that edge. I think in a couple of these were... I don't think this had anything in it, this one.
I think you might be right. Yeah, there's nothing in there.
I think there was something. There's a little bit in this one, right? I thought
Not
there was.
much. 36% or something.
Yeah, it was a low percentage one. 32%er.
Right, I was close.
Well, you know what? We ended up with over 29 SCU. We are not gonna sneeze at that. That was a...
Yeah, that's a good run.
That's a solid run. So no unis tonight, but you know what? That we ended on a real nice solid note there with that one right there.
Lyria, Halo, Lyria, that's great. No, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. We ended up with something from everything. Yeah.
Yep. And I think it's always good, you know, because we have had several requests for people to just say, "Can you go to the Halo?" It is different. The meta's different. There's a lot of different things to learn there. So it really did work out good tonight. You know what I mean? Zeller said later school. Andre says yesterday was the worst for me. It's been bad this week on the server. There has been a lot of events lately. Jumptown, Nine Tails. They've been kind of leapfrogging each other. You know, it is what it is. It definitely has been. You know, there's definitely the servers have been a little more taxed lately, and so we don't necessarily know 100% if that's why maybe things have been just a touch slower on the Quantanium side. But that is something that we, you know, that we're looking into. I mean, or at least we're feeling our way through to see if because a lot of people have been saying it's been a touch slower since 3.16.1. And I don't necessarily disagree, but it's nothing to whine about. I mean, I've still made lots and lots of money.
You've still made a lot of money. Absolutely. 108 last night SCU. That's not bad. That's
Yeah, real solid. And I think we said there was 100 and some, you know, almost 200 SCU in the hopper now.
So and then 3060 Well, 25, 30, 28. Yeah, you're still. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you're close to 200. You're close to 200 in the hopper.
Yep.
Sure.
You know, and that's, hey, another 1.6 or whatever, and
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Nothing to complain about.
Don't want to count our chickens till they're hatched here. I'll knock on wood, but
That's
yeah,
right.
Definitely. Yeah, we're doing all right.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel.
All right, in we go. We are going to go ahead and just take this guy in and put her in a refiner, and you know, and call that some victory for sure.
Landing gear down.
Even I put the gear down early. Ultra saying FPS bunker missions really broken for you guys. Sometimes all 10 targets. There are times when all the targets don't spawn, for sure.
Yeah, we usually find that when we're going down to bunker missions, it's like 1 out of 10 stays alive, and then it's like, but even then, it's like it doesn't. There's not even 1 out of 10 there.
Right.
They're all dead. But it just keeps on 1 out of 10 just to, you know what I mean? Just to get just to keep the bunker mission alive, and we don't get paid out for it. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of the problem on that end. Yeah.
Have seen that before, and also have seen it where they've been super stable and they work great, and you know, and that type of thing. So you know, if you get on a server, sometimes like if I'm going to do those FPS ones, I will hate to say it, but sometimes I sneak on the Aussie servers. You know, so at this time of night they're pretty quiet.
Yeah,
a little
sure.
earlier in the night
Please proceed to assigned
they're a little
landing
quiet.
bay.
All right, up we go. Yeah, Mr. Zai saying he's had great luck, but it's hit or miss. Sometimes the elevator doesn't even load. Yeah, we've had that before. That is funny. And, you know, I liken that to having to spend that 35, 40 minutes flying around the Halo, too. I mean, there's time sinks and everything, you know, for sure, so. There we go. Easy landing there. We'll do a little post-flight. Do the repairs, get the stuff on board.
Engines off.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
I'm gonna try and jump out the ship like somebody was mentioning today. Before you watch this, I'm gonna try it. Watch this on him.
Yeah.
Exit shit ready. Hey!
Oh, I only jump off of the prospector. I only ever jump off.
Oh, I never. That's the first time I've ever done that. I always
Oh, really? Oh, no.
I always
only
catch the
jump
ladder
off.
animation, man.
Yeah.
You know what?
I only ever jump off there. I like that. That's a good one because you don't have to go down the ladder. You can just jump off it. Absolutely. I like that.
That's funny as heck. So we'll get this guy stored. We'll jump down, head to the refinery, and we will get this this next bit in the hopper here. Right. That guy's stored. Awesome.
Nice. And now it's stable. So now you can make your way at your leisure down to the refinery.
It's not the same Spectre Fleet Archer. We're a little different, and it's SpectreFleet.space is our is our URL for the site. All right, so a little shameless plug time. Obviously, I try and use this little bit of time in the elevator. Couple of things. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We don't always do 3 runs, right? We normally just try and keep it to 2. We did a Lyria, Halo Lyria. We were successful every time. Spent a little longer in the Halo than what we like necessarily, but you know what? That's the Halo. That's the way. It's not quite as consistent as Lyria, but you can always spend time flying around all those places. I will mention one last time QuantCalc. There's a link in the description. It's a $1 tool. It's definitely super helpful for determining how much Quantanium is in a rock or in a cluster. And it's you buy it $1, you have it forever, including all the updates that we put out to it. So that's please feel free to pick that up. And last but not least, SpectreFleet.space or SpectreFleet. No pressure. Come on over, check us out. If it looks like it's a good fit, do an interview and give it a try. And if you like it, yeah, that's great. So we always do like to mention those types of things. I am going to do this Quantanium here, another Dynic solvenation, because I'm not in a terrible hurry. We'll confirm that, and we will take a look at the fruits of our labor here. So, pretty good there. 27, 21, 26, 30, 27, 30, 18, and 25. So we are not doing too shabby. So I definitely like to end the stream the same way a lot of the time, which is just basically thanking you for coming. Thank you so much for coming, contributing for. Thank you for being here tonight as well. We had a great time. I had an unbelievably fun time doing this tonight, and
it was my pleasure.
And that I think we'll just leave it there. We're going to be setting. There will be a regular schedule for the stream at some point in the future, and chances are, if you jump on the stream, it will be mining. Yeah, Archer, I'll definitely give you a link here. As soon as I finish up the stream, I will, and I'm just about to do that, I will put a link in the chat for you, for sure. Thank you all for attending tonight. Thank you all for the fantastic conversation. Please take care of yourself. Keep on digging, and we will see you all around the verse.